Right, good morning. Think what are the components of financial statement? Components of financial statement: statement of profit and loss and other comprehensive income, statement of changes in equity, statement of financial position, statement of cash flow, accounting policies and notes. Those are the components of financial statement. What are the elements of financial statement? Elements: assets, liability, income, expense, as well as capital or equity. Then think there are two types of financial statement we have to prepare. What are the type of financial statement we have to prepare? Sometimes they are MCQ paper. First one, general purpose financial statement, and second one is special purpose financial statement. Special purpose financial statement we are not going to prepare. Those are the financial statement prepare for management purpose. Therefore, in the company sum, only we are going to prepare financial statement for publication purpose. Those are called general purpose financial statement. But in the company, you have to prepare separate financial statement for management purpose also. Those are called special purpose financial statement. Description wise, income statement and financial position should be disclosed under management purpose financial statement. Then think about inventory, composition of inventory. Composition of cost of inventory included cost of purchase, cost of conversion, and other cost. If they ask what is inventory, inventory are the assets. Think about inventory, raw material, work in progress, and finished goods. ඒ කියන්නේ නැවත විකුණන්න purchase කරලා තියෙන finished goods, නැවත විකුණන්න purchase කරලා තියෙන production process එකේ තියෙන work in progress, නැවත විකුණන්න බඩු හදන්න ගෙනල්ලා තියෙන raw material. Therefore, raw material, work in progress, finished goods we have to consider as a closing stock. Inventory, think there are two concepts relevant for inventory. Under cost of sales calculation, as inventory cost value should be included based on matching concepts. But financial person, as inventory should include lower value of cost and net realizable value based on prudency concepts. Therefore, accounting concept also very important. And when we are going to calculate total cost of inventory, two methods can be applied, FIFO methods as well as weighted average cost methods. And think when recognize lower value of cost and NRV, also two methods can be applied, item by item basis as well as group basis. Item by item basis and group basis. Relevant for lower value of NRV and cost value. Recognition part. Lower value. When we are going to recognize low value, there are two methods can be applied, item by item basis as well as group basis. Inventory very important. And relationship between opening inventory and profit. Opening inventory and profit negative relationships. You can open stock value no profit එක අඩු වෙනවා. And relationship between closing inventory and profit positive. Closing inventory වැඩි වුණොත් profit එක වැඩි වෙනවා. Closing inventory අඩු වුණොත් profit එක අඩු වෙනවා. Think relationship between profit and closing stock also. And depreciable amount equal cost minus residual value as well as annual depreciation into useful lifetime also equal depreciable amounts. Carrying amount equal cost minus accumulated depreciation, carrying amounts. Disposed profit and loss, revaluation profit and loss, exchange profit and loss normally should be calculated by comparing net book value and revaluation amounts, or net book value or disposal value, net book value or exchange value. Think profit and loss how to calculate property, plant and equipment. You have to compare with net book value. Right. Think about how to calculate return on asset ratio. Return on assets. Think about how to calculate return on asset ratio. Profit for the year plus interest divided by total assets. Think how to calculate interest coverage ratio. මතක් වෙනවද කියලා බලන්න ඒවා. Interest coverage ratio how to calculate. Profit before tax plus interest divided by interest. Think how to calculate dividend per share. Interim dividends paid divided by number of shares. Think how to calculate inventory resident period. Inventory obtained periods or inventory resident periods. There are two equations. 365 days divided by cost of sales. So 365 days divided by inventory turnover ratio. Stock obtained period can be calculated 365 divided by stock turnover ratio or 365 into average stock divided by cost of sales. Ratio very important. I think how to calculate contribution per units. Selling price minus variable cost as well as changes in profit divided by changes in quantity. Contribution per unit can be calculated. What are the things included in the contribution per units? Fixed cost as well as profit. Contribution per unit included fixed cost as well as profit. Total contribution also includes fixed cost and profit. I think initial public offer, what are the double entries? They ask definitely MCQ paper. Initial public offer, what are the related double entries? Think cash receipt with application. මතක් වෙනවද කියලා බලන්න මම මේ කියන දේවල්. What is a double entry? Cash receipt with application. Cash account debit. Share issue account credit. What is a double entry? Excess application rejected. Cash account credit, share issue account debit. Then what is a double entry? Shares allotment. It means share issue. Stated ordinary share capital account credit and share issue account debit. Think right issue, what is a double entry? Right issue. Cash account debit, stated ordinary share capital account credit. Think retain earning capitalization, what is a double entry? Retain earning capitalization, what is a double entry? Retain earning account debit, stated ordinary share capital account credit. Therefore, MCQ paper, there are 50 questions available. MCQ. Think what are the 5-step model to recognize revenue based on SLF 15. 5-step model to recognize revenue from contract with customers. There are 5 steps to be applied. What are the 5 steps we have to apply? First one, identify the transaction, identify the contract with customers. Second one, identify the performance obligation. Third one, determine the transaction price. And fourth one, allocate the transaction price. And last one, recognize revenue when performance obligation is satisfied. What are the fundamental qualitative characteristics? Fundamental qualitative characteristics. Relevance and faithful representation. What are the enhancing qualitative characteristics? මම මේ කියන දේවල් ඕගොල්ලෝ දැන් මතකද කියලා බලන්න. What are the enhancing qualitative characteristics? Comparability, understandability, verifiability, as well as timeliness. What are the environmental factors that we have to consider when conduct business activities? What are the environmental factors? First one, legal environments, economic and political environments, social and cultural environments, technological environments, technical and professional environments. MCQ paper they ask. MCQ paper. Then think accumulated depreciation accounts. Which type of ledger accounts? Accumulated depreciation account, asset accounts. And provision for doubtful debts accounts. Provision for doubtful debts account also asset accounts. But provision for warranty accounts, liability accounts. Sales return, income accounts. You have to know which type of ledger accounts. Ledger accounts. I think what is the fundamental accounting concepts? Fundamental accounting concepts, going concern. Think assets and liabilities should be recognized separately as a current and non-current based on which concepts? Going concern. Basis for depreciation, going concern. Think about expenses, depreciation, discount allowance, bad debts, revaluation loss, disposal loss, discount allowance, not paid in cash. But we have to consider as expense based on which concepts? Based on matching concepts. Think those are not paid in cash, but we have to consider as expense based on matching concepts. But all the cash payment expense, salary, rent, advertisement, insurance, those are paid in cash also. Those kind of expense relevant for matching concepts as well as accrual concepts. But depreciation, discount allowance, bad debts, doubtful debts, warranty, so not warranty, salary වලින් given නැති expense තිබුණොත් අන්න ඒවට අදාළ වෙන්නේ matching concept එක විතරයි. Matching concepts. Right now, think about question number 1. There are 30 MCQ questions I have given. MCQ very important. And question number 1 to 4 relevant for not for profit making organization. Think about main income subscription. Therefore, you have to know how to prepare subscription accounts. Think membership fee equal subscription. Some members paid for this financial year. Some members paid for next financial year also. Some members not paid for last year also. Therefore, it has given subscription received in advance, subscription in arrears, as well as subscription written off. Right. It has given opening closing balances also. Our accounting period end of the year 31st March 21. And given number of member and membership fee also. Subscription written off also given. There's subscription received in cash. Think about requirements. Question number 1, there's subscription received in cash. Right, you have to prepare subscription accounts. Prepare the T account for subscription and record opening and closing balances. Since subscription is income, but subscription received in advance is liability. Subscription in arrears is assets. It has given from the beginning subscription received in advance. Opening balance 31st March 20 mean previous year closing balance became this year opening balance. Therefore, credit side as a balance brought forward. Credit side as a balance brought forward. And given subscription received in advance closing balance also. Closing balance carry down from debit side to credit side. Balance carry down from debit side to credit side. Given closing balance equal 130. It should be include credit side as a balance brought forward. Record from the beginning opening and closing balances. As well as given subscription in arrears also. Subscription in arrears mean asset. Receivable amounts 320 as a balance brought forward. And given subscription in arrears closing balance also 420. Balance carried down from credit side to debit side. Given subscription in arrears closing balance 420. That value as balance brought forward debit side. and given number of member as well as membership fee, by using those information can be recognized subscription income for the year. Number of member based on matching accrual concepts. Based on accrual concepts, think number of member equal 900 and membership fee per member equal to 20,000. That is the value should be considered as income. Therefore, subscription account debit income statement. As income statement, think how much should be considered. Number of members, it has given 900 and membership fee per member is given 20,000. Therefore, this is the value should be considered as income based on accrual concepts. Based on accrual concepts. Therefore, as income should be considered 18,000. 1,800 as income, sorry, here 18,000. 18,000 should be considered as income. Number of member into membership fee. Now close the subscription accounts. They are subscription received in cash. Debit side increase, take total value. Debit side increase. Therefore, debit side total money equal 18,450. Take that value credit side. Difference value as a cash. Difference value as a cash. Cash account debit, subscription account credit. Value equal 17,000. Take difference value. Difference value should be considered as a cash. Therefore, 18,450 minus 290 as well as minus 420. It has given subscription written off also. Subscription written off should be recorded credit side of the subscription accounts. That is explained. Subscription written off account debit, subscription account credit, value equal 140 as written off. Subscription written off also expense. Given value 140. Subscription written off value equal 140. Therefore, by closing subscription accounts, can be recognized subscription received in cash. Therefore, as a cash account debit, subscription account credit. Therefore, question number first one answer 17,600,000. Based on accrual concepts, cash received or not, for the year value should be considered as income. Very important, it has given number of member and membership fee. Think how to calculate subscription income for the year. You have to apply accrual concepts. Cash received or not, for the year value should be considered as income. Question number second one also relevant for subscription. Given opening closing balance and subscription received amount also given. They ask in this example subscription income for the year. Same information, but question number second one it has not given. Number of member and membership fee is not given. Therefore, record given balances opening and closing. It has given from the beginning subscription received in advance liability as a balance brought forward 850 and closing balance carried down. Closing balance carried down value equal 420. That value should be included credit side as a balance brought forward 420 as well as given subscription in arrears assets. Opening balance debit side as a balance brought forward. Opening balance as a balance brought forward debit side. And closing balance carried down from credit side to debit side. Subscription in arrears is assets. Therefore, balance carried down from credit side to debit side. Debit side as a balance brought forward. Value equal 290. Then given subscription received in cash during the account period, 7,260. Cash account debit, subscription account credit. Therefore, subscription account credit 7,260 as a cash. And given subscription written off 120 also should be record credit side as a written off. As a written off. As a subscription written off. Now, by closing subscription accounts, subscription income for the year can be calculated. Take credit side increase. Take the total amount of credit side. Credit side total amount equal 8,520. Take that value debit side. Difference value should be considered as income. Take difference value 7,730 as income statement. 7,730 as income statement. Think based on accrual concepts, cash received or not for the year value should be considered as income. Therefore, question number second one, answer 1. Relevant for not for profit making organization. There are members available, main income subscription. Therefore, you have to know how to calculate subscription income. Next one, question number third one. Also relevant for not for profit making organization. But information given where is difference. Definitely they ask in the paper relevant for subscription. Reason not for profit making organization, separate lesson available. Main income subscription. Therefore, you have to know how to recognize life membership fee as well as normal membership fee. Life membership fee total value cannot be considered as income. Based on policy of the sport club, part of value should be considered as income. Balance part should be included separately under accumulated fund. Right now, think about question number third one. Given following information related to subscription of accounting period end of the year 31st March 21, and given composition of subscription received year 2020 and 21. For 19-20 periods, for 20 and 21 period, and for 21 and 22 period. Subscription received money that's given for last year, this year, next year. And given opening closing balances also, 31st March 20 mean opening balance, 31st March 21 mean closing balance. Subscription receivable assets and subscription received in advance is liability. Think in this example, very important, it has not given subscription received in advance closing balance. Therefore, subscription received in advance closing balance should be equal. Think of accounting period 20 and 21 period. This is our accounting period. But think about it as given subscription received for 20 and 22 period. Therefore, this is the value should be considered as a subscription received in advance. 21 and 22 period is not relevant for this financial year. That is a closing balance of subscription received in advance. Not given clearly. Our accounting period end of the year 31st March 21. But given during the accounting period subscription received for 21 and 22 period also. That is a subscription received in advance. Right. There's subscription income. Prepare the ledger accounts. Take the opening closing balance. Subscription accounts and subscription receivable it has given. Opening balance 220, debit side as a balance brought forward. And closing balance 510, balance carried on from debit side, credit side to debit side. 510. As well as given subscription received in advance 280, opening balance as a balance brought forward. And closing balance it has not given clearly, but it has given composition of subscription received in cash. It is included 620 relevant for next financial year. That value balance carry down. That value balance carry down from debit side to credit side. Balance brought forward credit side. And it has given subscription received amount during the account period. Think during the account period, subscription received for last year, this year, next year, all three value received in cash during the account period. Think 450,000, 10,550, values in 1,000, 620. All three value received during the account period. Therefore, that is the value should be recorded as a subscription received in cash. 450 plus 10,550 plus 620. Therefore, subscription received in cash. During the current period, subscription received in cash equal 11,620. 11,620. This is the subscription received in cash. Cash account debit, subscription account credit. Therefore, subscription account credit as a cash value equal 11,620. Cash account debit, subscription account credit 11,620. In this example, it has not given subscription written off. Therefore, by closing subscription income accounts, subscription accounts, income can be recognized. Credit side increase, take total amount of credit side. Take the total amount of credit side. 12,410. Take that value debit side. Then difference value as an income statement. Difference value as an income statement. Therefore, as an income, you have to consider difference value 11,507. Think accrual concept you have to apply as an income statement. This is value should be included income statement as a subscription income. Sometimes they ask in the paper, very important this part. Sometimes they ask recognize subscription income based on cash basis. This is the accrual basis recognized value. If they ask subscription income based on cash basis, as a subscription income, you have to consider subscription received in cash during the account period. On a cash based subscription income, subscription received during the account period. But this is the subscription income based on accrual basis. Normally, we have to prepare subscription account accrual basis. Therefore, try to recognize difference between accrual basis and cash basis. Class එකට අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම ඔයගොල්ලෝ join වෙන්න ඕන වගේ පාට අහුවෙන්නේ answers විතරක් බලන්න ගියොත්. දැන් සමහර ළමයි class එකට ඉන්නේ නැතුව මේක මන් දෙන answers දිහා බලනවා. ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. නමුත් මෙන්න මේ පාට අහුවෙන්නේ නැහැ. Think about cash basis and accrual basis. Normally we have to prepare subscription account accrual basis. But if they ask cash basis as a subscription income, you have to consider subscription received in cash during the accounting period. 11,620. That is the answer if they ask cash basis. But normally we have to prepare accrual basis. Accrual basis. Therefore, answer is 11,507. Subscription income. Therefore, answer is second one. Definitely they are subscription. Therefore, try to recognize how much should be considered as a subscription income. Right, next one. Next one, relevant for goods sent on sales or return basis. Think question number fourth one. ගොඩාක් ළමයි තේරුම් ගන්න නැති part එකක් මේක. Goods sent on sales or return basis. Think requirements. Think based on revenue recognition with contract with customers. 5-step model should be applied to recognize revenue. At the time of send, those are cannot be considered as income. 5-step model should be recognized. When performance obligation is satisfied, revenue can be recognized. It has given the trial balance, it has given 31st March 21, and trial balance available debtors and sales. Think about credit sales, debtors account, debit sales account credited, and given goods sent on sales or return basis. Think about invoice price, values in 1,900,000. Invoice price it has given, invoice price. Selling price it has given, this is a selling price. And profit markup it has given. Why it is relevant? By using profit markup can be calculated its cost value. This is a selling price, invoice price, its cost value can be calculated by using profit markup. Then it has given, it has been recorded as a credit sales. Already recorded as a credit sales. Therefore, debtors account, debit, sales account credited already. Selling price. But at the end of the accounting periods, that it was revealed, 40% of goods were remained. Thing at the time of sale already recorded as a credit sales. Debtors account, debit, sales account credited, given selling price, but 40% is not sales. As well as given closing inventory available at the store, 31st March 21, then goods sent to the other business on sales or return basis, if those are not sold, its cost value also should be considered as an inventory. On අපි යවපුවා විකුණලා නැත්නම් ඒ යවපු එකේ cost එක අපි inventory විදිහට ගන්නවා. It is effect for debtors, sales as well as inventory. And think cost value is not given. Cost value can be calculated by using profit markup. Right now, think about first one, try to recognize cost value. General equation, cost plus profit equal. General equation, cost plus profit equal selling price. Markup margin, there's definitely selling price. Think by using profit markup and margin, we are going to calculate sometimes selling price, sometimes gross profit. Sometimes selling price it has given, we have to calculate cost value. On a cost value ko hoyan වෙනවා. නැත්නම් profit එක හොයන්න වෙනවා. නැත්නම් selling price එක හොයන්න වෙනවා. That is the reason we have to apply profit markup and margin. Given profit markup for 50% on cost. On cost 50%. If cost value 100, profit equal 50%. Therefore, selling price equal 150. Profit markup. Now, selling price we know. Selling price equal 900,000. Therefore, 900,000 divided by 150. Now, think selling price equal 150 in this example. Or the mea equal when menne mea. Think selling price it has given. Selling price it has given. Mea may equation equal in mea. Therefore, 900,000 divided by 150 into 100 cost value can be calculated. That is a cost value goods sent on sales or return basis. Try to calculate cost value. Therefore, cost value equal selling price 900,000. Selling price 900,000 divided by 150 into 100. First one, try to calculate cost value of goods sent on sales or return basis. Divided by 115 into 100. Therefore, its cost value equals 600,000. Think by using profit markup can be recognized cost value of goods sent on sales or return basis. Now think it has been recorded as a credit sales. Therefore, total value 900,000. Debtors account, debit, sales account credited, but given 40% was not sales. Therefore, now based on selling price equal 900,000. Based on that value, 40% is not sales. Value equal 360,000. But already recorded total value, debtors account debit, sales account credited, but 360,000 was not sales. Therefore, that value should be removed from debtor and sales. Therefore, debtor minus from debtor deduct 360,000. Think it has already recorded as a credit sales. It has already recorded as a credit sales, but 40% was not sales. 40% value equal 360,000. That value should be removed from debtor and sales. Think selling price if it for debtor and sales already recorded as a credit sales, but it has given 40% were not sales. Based on selling price 40%, 360,000 deduct from debtor, debtors account credit and sales account debit. As well as that value should be deduct from sales also. Sales account debit, debtors account credit. Therefore, 360,000 should be deducted from sales also. Then can be recognized correct sales value and correct debtor value. Think cost value effect for inventory, cost value effect for inventory. Therefore, correct sales value, correct debtor value can be calculated. Therefore, correct sales value equal. Think sales available, trial balance 4,280,000. From that value deduct 360,000. From that value 360,000 should be deduct. Think or total value should be already recognized as sales, but 40% was not sales. Therefore, 40% should be removed. Therefore, correct sales value equal 3,920,000. This is the correct sales value. As let's try to calculate correct data value. Correct data value. Data is also available trial balance 1,260,000. From that value also deduct 360,000. Think selling price effect for data and sales. Selling price effect for data and sales. Therefore, correct data value equal 900,000. As well as there's correct inventory value, very, very important. Think goods sent to the other business on sales or return basis. If those are not sales, it right has our business. Inventory normally should be calculated based on physical counts. දැන් අපි inventory කියන උත්තරේ හොයන්නේ physically 31st March වල store එකට ගිහිල්ලා බලනවා කොච්චරක් තියෙනවද කියලා. අන්න එම physical count එක කරනකොට අපි අර යවලා තියෙනවනේ වෙන business එකට. විකුණන්න නැත්නම් ආපහු එවන්න කියලා. අන්න ඒවා consider කරලා නැහැ. ඒවත් විකුණලා නැත්නම් අයිති අපිට. Therefore, goods sent on sales or return basis, if those are not sales, its cost value also should be considered as our inventory. But normally when business going to calculate inventory physically, those are not considered. අපේ stock එකේ නෑ ඒවා. ඒවා යවලා තියෙන වෙන business එකට. ඒවා එහෙ තියෙන්නේ විකුණලා නැත්නම් right එක තියෙන අපිට. ඒතර inventory කියන answer එක හැම business එකක්ම හොයන්නේ physical count එක base කරගෙන. ඒතර physically count කරනකොට අපි අර යවපු බඩු ටික consider කරලා නැහැ. ඒවා නැහැ physically අපි ගාව. But if those are not sales, it right as our business. Therefore, those value also should be considered as our inventory. As our inventory. Think it cost value equal 600,000. Based on that value 40%. You have to consider as a closing stock. Therefore, 600,000 into 40%. Value equal 240,000 also should be considered as a close correct inventory. Therefore, there's correct inventory value also. Therefore, correct inventory. Correct inventory. It has given additional second one, inventory available at the store. Cost of inventory 560,000 as at 31st March 21. Those are the inventory calculated based on physical counts. Then that value plus 240,000. In goods sent on sales or return basis. විකුණන්න ආපහු එවන්න කියලා යවපුවත් විකුණලා නැත්නම් we have to consider as a closing stock. Right? If it has not sales as a credit sales, separate question available for that also. That part I will discuss next example. Think about here, it has given, it has been recorded as a credit sales. Sometimes it has not given like that. If it has not given like that, not recorded. That part I will discuss later. Separate question available for that also. Right now, think about correct inventory value. Inventory it has given 560,000. This is inventory available at the store, as well as goods sent on sales or return basis. If those are not sales, its cost value also should be considered as our inventory. Therefore, think correct inventory value 560,000 plus 240,000. Value equal 800,000. Therefore, here value equal 800,000. This is a correct inventory value. Thing very, very important, it has been recorded as a credit sales. Normally at the time of send, should not be considered as a sales. Should not be considered as a sales. Think here, at the time of send, it has already recorded as a credit sales. Debtors account, debit, sales account credited already, but end of the account period, 40% was not sales. Then very well it has been recorded as a credit sales. Record karla kila dunnattam, record karla nahi. 40% not sales. It means 60% sales. Enang api karanne, based on selling price, 60% should be recorded as a credit sales. Onna record karla natham record karanna. Not 40%, 60%. Debtors account, debit, sales account, credit. If it has not given like that, ekane record කරලා කියලා නැත්නම් record කරලා නැහැ. එහෙනම් record කරන්න ඕන. මොනවද record කරන්න ඕනේ? විකුණපු ටික. It has given 40% not sales. It means 60% sales. Therefore, based on invoice price, 60% should be calculated and it should be recorded as a credit sales. If it has not given, it has been recorded as a credit sales like that. ඔන්න මේ විදියට දීලා නැති වුණොත්, it means it has not recorded yet. Therefore, you have to record 40% not sales. It means 60% sales. එහෙනම් අපි record කරන්නේ විකුණපු ටික 60%. But in this example, it has recorded as a credit sales, already included debtor and sales total amounts, but 40% not sales. And it is effect for inventory also. Inventory වලට effect වෙන්නේ විකුණලා නැත්තම් විතරයි. Record කළත් නැතත්, if it has not sales, its cost value should be considered as our inventory. Reason, all the business organization inventory calculated based on physical counts. When business going to calculate inventory physically, those are not considered, but it write as our business. Therefore, that value also should be considered as a closing stock. Therefore, correct sales value equal 3.9,200,000 and correct data value equal 900,000. Correct inventory value equal 800,000. Therefore, question number fourth one, answer 4. Question number fourth one, answer 4. Try to recognize how to adjust if it has recorded, if it has not recorded. Sometimes it has given company sum as adjustment. Those are interrelated adjustment. ඔන්න බලන්න මේ adjustment එක කරගන්න බැරි වුණොත් debtors ලා වරදින හින්දා bad debts and doubtful debts කියන එක වරදිනවා. Sales වරදින නිසා warranty වරදිනවා. Inventory වරදින නිසා inventory එකත් වැරදිලා යනවා. Interrelated. ඔන්න මේ වගේ adjustment ඇති වුණොත් ගාණෙන් භාගයක් වරදිනවා. හදාගන්න බැරි වුණොත්. Very important. You have to recognize if it has recorded, how to correct. If it has not recorded, how to correct. Right. Therefore, question number fourth one, answer 4. Next one, question number 5. Question number 5, think about. Question number 5. Also relevant for not for profit making organization. This part very, very important. ගොඩාක් ළමයින්ට ප්‍රශ්නයක් වෙන තැනක් මේ තියෙන්නේ. Thing it has given trial balance of SSC Sport Club as at 31st March 21 is given below. Sport equipment available 12,000, values in 1,000. And sport equipment purchase fund available 2 million. It has given additional information. Donation received for sport equipment purchase fund. Special donation given 1st July 2020. Donation received during the accounting period. What is the double entry? And second part, it has given 4,000 worth of sport equipment purchase was purchased by utilizing sport equipment purchase fund. By utilizing sport equipment purchase fund. If it has given donation received for created fund, you have to know how it records. Then if equipment purchased by using those kind of donation, think how it records. First one, donation received amounts 3 million. Cash account debit, sport equipment purchase fund account credit. First double entry, debit cash accounts. අපිට සල්ලි නෙන්නේ. Cash account debit 3 million and sport equipment purchase fund. Fund එකක් කියන්නේ equity එකක්. Should be disclosed under accumulated fund. On a donation හම්බුනොත් එන value එක බලන්න. 3 million. Therefore cash account debit, sport equipment purchase fund account credit. Then fund account opening balance also given. Therefore fund account closing balance equal 5 million. ඔන්න අපි sport equipment purchase කරන්න වෙනම fund එකක් තියෙනවා. Donation හම්බෙලා තියෙන ඒකට. Therefore that donation cannot be considered as income at the time of receipts. ඔන්න තේරුම් ගන්න තැන. Donation හම්බෙන වෙලාවේ income එකක් විදිහට ගන්න බෑ. Normally donation is income. Normal donation. But those kind of donation cannot be considered as income at the time of receipts. Separate fund available. Fund එකට add කරලා දාන්න ඕන අපි. Think about cash account debit, sport equipment purchase fund account credit. ඔන්න දැන් fund එකේ තියෙන බලන්න 3 million it has given. Opening balance it has given 2 million. Fund account එක බලන්න චුට්ටක්. This is where you have to draw sport equipment purchase fund. Sport equipment purchase fund. This is the sport equipment purchase fund. Sport equipment purchase fund. Opening balance also given. And opening balance it has given 2,000. Therefore, as a balance brought forward, those are equity, therefore credit side. This is not sport equipment. May sport equipment නෙවෙයි තියෙන්නේ. Sport equipment purchase කරන්න හම්බෙච්ච donation cannot be considered as income at the time of receipts. Separate fund. Under accumulated fund should be included. Then during the accounting period also donation receipts, cash account debit, sport equipment purchase fund account credit as a cash. Therefore donation received amount equal during the accounting period 3 million. On them fund එකේ balance එක තියෙනවා මෙච්චර. Like this is first entry, donation received amounts, cash account debit cannot be considered as income. ඔන්න තේරුම් ගන්න තැන. Income එකක් විදියට ගන්න බෑ හම්බෙන දවසේ. But given 4 million worth of sport equipment was purchased by utilizing sport equipment purchase fund. Now think. ඔන්න දැන් sport equipment purchase කරලා කොහමද අපි purchase කරන්නේ? සල්ලි දීලා. Therefore think double entry. Second one double entry. Cash accounts credit. ay සල්ලි දීලා අපි ගන්නෙ. Sport equipment account debit. Sport equipment account debit. Sport equipment account debit. ඔන්න අපිට සල්ලි එනවා බලන්න sport equipment account debit. දැන් අපිට ඉන්නේ sport equipment account debit 4,000 and cash account credit. සල්ලි දීලා අපි ගන්නෙ. Cash account credit. දැන් අපි ගාව තියෙනවනේ හම්බෙ සල්ලි ටික ලාංචුවේ. අනේව වියදම් කරලා අපි ගන්නවා බලන්න. Cash account credit, sport equipment account debit. This is second entry. And first entry cash accounts, donation received amount, cash account debit, relevant fund account credit. Cash account debit and sport equipment purchase fund account credit. This is a donation received amounts. Donation received amounts. Now it has given sport equipment purchase and utilized donation. ඔන්න දැන් තමයි අර හම්බෙච්ච donation income එකක් වෙන්නේ. දැන් ඕගොල්ලෝ තේරුම් ගන්න ඕනේ ෆන්ඩ් එකක් වෙනුවෙන් හම්බෙච්ච donation කවද්ද අපි income වලට ගන්න. ෆන්ඩ් එක use කරලා තියෙන දවසේ. It has given 4,000 worth of sport equipment purchased by utilizing sport equipment purchase fund. අන්න දැන් තමයි අර ෆන්ඩ් එකේ තියෙන හම්බෙච්ච donation ටික income එකක් වෙන්නේ. Therefore double entry ප්‍රමාණ මෙතන entries දෙකක් යන්නේ. සල්ලි දීලා තමයි sport equipment එක ගන්නෙ. cash එකක් credit sport equipment එක debit separately. And equal amount should be considered as income from sport equipment purchase fund. ඔන්න ෆන්ඩ් එකේ තියෙන donation වලින් income එකක් විදිහට අපිට ගන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්නේ ෆන්ඩ් එක use කරපු වෙලාවේ 4 million. ඔන්න එතන දැන් වෙනම entry එකක් යනවා. sport equipment purchase fund account debit income statement credit. ඔන්න දැන් ෆන්ඩ් එකේ balance එක අඩු වෙනවා. Therefore sport equipment purchase fund account debit sport equipment purchase fund account debit as a sport equipment, so as a income statement, as a income statement. ඔන්න දැන් තමයි donation of income එකක් විදිහට ගන්න. Therefore sport equipment purchase fund accounts sport equipment purchase fund account debit 4 million income statement credit double in income statement credit. Therefore now donation can be considered as income. ඔන්න බලන්න මෙතන කරුණු දෙකක් තියෙනවා. donation අපිට හම්බෙලා තියෙන්නේ sport equipment ගන්න. Therefore cash account debit sport equipment purchase fund account credit. ඒතරේ හම්බෙන donation income එකක් විදිහට ගන්න බෑ අපි. ඊට පස්සේ sport equipment ගන්නවා බලන්න. සල්ලි දීලා cash account credit sport equipment account debit separately. අන්නේ sport equipment purchase කරපු දවසේ තමයි අර ෆන්ඩ් එකට හම්බෙලා තියෙන donation income එකක් විතර ගන්න පුළුවන් නේ. Equal amounts. Therefore sport equipment purchase 4 million. Therefore think about fund account balance available 5 million. අන්නේ 5 million ඒ donation ඔය තියෙන්නේ. අන්නේ හම්බෙච්ච donation 5 million වලින් 4 million අපිට income විතර ගන්න පුළුවන්. Therefore this is value should be includes income statement as a donation for sport equipment. Donation for sport equipment as income should be considered if it is utilized, if it has used. Therefore third double entry, third one, sport equipment purchase fund account debit income statement credit. ඔන්න මෙතන entries දෙකක් යනවා බලන්න. sport equipment ගන්න සල්ලි දීලා. අර donation වලින් අපිට හම්බෙච්ච සල්ලි තියෙනවනේ ලාච්චුවේ. ඒව අරන්. ඊට පස්සේ බලන්න ඕන donation එකට මොකද වෙන්නේ? donation income එකක් වෙන්නේ දැන්. balance part should be included under accumulated fund separately. Therefore third double entry, sport equipment purchase fund account debit sport equipment purchase fund account debit and income statement credit. Income statement credit. Therefore sport equipment purchase fund account debit value equal 4 million as well as income statement credit 4 million. Think donation in which situation should be considered as income. Donation received for created fund. Think fund account balance closing balance should be included financial position separately under accumulated fund. Under accumulated fund. Therefore now credit side increase. Take credit side total amounts and take that value debit side also. Therefore difference value as a balance carried out. Credit side total amount equal 5,000 and take that value debit side. Therefore difference value as a balance carried down. Difference value as a balance carried down. Think difference value equal 1,000. ඔන්න දැන් 8,000 අය කවදා හරි අපිට income එකක් විතර ගන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්නේ ආපහු sport equipment ගත්ත දවසේ විතරයි. එතකම් fund එකේ වෙනම තියෙනවා equity එකක් විදියට. Therefore balance brought forward also same value. බලන්න ඉතුරු ටිකත් කවදා හරි income එකක් විතර ගන්නවා ආපහු sport equipment purchase කරපු දවසේ. එතකන් තියෙන්නේ separately under accumulated fund. What is the important thing you have to know? Try to recognize in which situation should be considered as income, donation, receipt for created fund. Therefore, this is a double entry. First one, think about donation receipt amounts. Second one, think about sport equipment purchase. And third one, think about donation, how much should be considered as income. For received amount for purchase sport equipment. Right, this is the question number 5. Very, very important. On a second paper, if it has given second paper, think how to adjust. Balance part of sport equipment purchase fund under accumulated fund separately. Think donation received amounts as well as how much should be considered as income. This part very, very important. On තාම මේ වගේව ඇවිල්ලා නැහැ exam එකේ. මේ යන විදිහට එන්න පුළුවන්. Right. Question number 6. Question number 6, think about. Six also relevant for subscription. They ask what is the correct answer for accumulated fund. Think accumulated fund. Assets minus liability. Only opening balance should be considered. Then can be calculated accumulated fund. They ask opening balance. Therefore, take the assets. From that value, deduct assets minus liability equal accumulated fund. They ask closing balance. Take asset side. They ask opening. They ask opening. What is the correct answer for accumulated fund as at 31st March 20? As at 31st March 20 mean opening balance. If there's closing accumulated fund, opening balance plus surplus. Therefore, assets minus liability can be calculated. Take assets value and minus liability. Therefore, it can be calculated assets minus liability. Take one side assets. Assets minus liability can be calculated. Assets minus liability. Take assets from the beginning, then minus liability. Prepare a statement like that. Take assets as less liability. Assets minus liability can be calculated equity. Equity equal in this lesson accumulated fund. Assets minus liability, take assets from the beginning. And minus liability. Minus liability. It is equal equity, but equity equal in this lesson. Equity equal in this lesson accumulated fund. Take assets. This is accounting equation. Take the assets value. Think subscription receivable it has given. Subscription receivable assets. Subscription receivable assets. And subscription received in advance liability. Liability should be inputs. Here, assets minus liability. The next one is sport equipment purchase fund. Fund එකක් කියන්නේ equity එකක්. Equity also should be recorded on liability side. Assets equal equity plus liability. Sport equipment purchase fund is a part of equity. It should be included under liability side. Under liability side. Equity and liability තියෙන එකම පැත්තේ. Then accrual electricity also liability 1500. Accrual electricity should be recorded liability side. Then given sport equipment, very, very important. Think what it has given it accumulated depreciation also. As sport equipment should be included net book value. Therefore, cost minus accumulated depreciation assets as sport equipment. As sport equipment, net book value should be included. Net book value can be calculated cost minus accumulated depreciation. Therefore, 30 million minus 10 million. Therefore, net book value will be equal to 20 million. Inventory of the restaurants. Think about restaurants also part of sport club. It available inventory assets. Therefore, inventory and asset side. Then fixed deposit also assets. Opening assets minus liability equal opening account fund. And creditors of the restaurants. Restaurants also part of club. Credit is a liability. Therefore, should be recorded liability side. And given equipment also cost and accumulated depreciation separately. Net book value should be included. Think this part. Cost minus accumulated depreciation. Equipment of restaurants also part of sport club. Given cost and accumulated depreciation separately. Net book value should be recorded. Then sport ground, pavilion, and given sport ground also assets and assets 42 million. As well as pavilion it is given. Cost and accumulated depreciation separately. Also net book value should be recorded. Given cost value as well as accumulated depreciation separately, but you have records net book value. Cost minus accumulated depreciation. Thing is statement of FAR. You have to prepare separate statement for calculate accumulated fund. Only opening assets and liabilities should be included. Therefore, net book value should be recorded. Net book value. Now take total assets minus total liability. That is the accumulated fund. Take the total value assets and liability. Only opening balance should be recorded. Think it has given separate fund also. Fund equity. Therefore, fund balance also should be recorded liability side. Fund account balance also should be recorded liability side. Now take total assets and total liability. Take the total assets and total liability. Can be calculated accumulated fund. Take assets total value. Assets total value, take the value. Assets total value equal. This is total value of assets. And take the liability also total value. Take liability total value equal 13,700,000. Then take assets minus liability. Assets minus liability equal. This is the accumulated fund equal 97,300,000. Therefore, this is the accumulated fund. Balance as at 31st March 1st April 2020. Opening balance. Think only opening assets and liability should be included. Opening assets and liability. If it has given cost and accumulated depreciation separately, net book value should be recorded. As well as if it has given fund account balance. Fund account, sometimes it has given sport equipment purchase fund, dancing equipment purchase fund, building construction fund, all the fund, part of equity should be recorded liability side. Therefore, here answer equal, question number 6 answer, first one, 97,300,000. relevant for not for profit making organization. ඔන්න දැන් මේ පාඩම clear කරගන්න try කරන්න. ලේසි පාඩමක් ගොඩක් කටි මේක ඒ කියන්නේ practically හිතන්නේ නැහැ මේ වගේ business කෙන එකයි. අමාරු. Next one. Question number 7, relevant for property, plant and equipment. Relevant for property, plant and equipment. And given a business registered for value added tax, registered. ඔන්න දැන් ඔයගොල්ලෝ තේරුම් ගන්න ඕනේ register වෙලා නම් VAT එකට මොකද කරන්න අපි? Register වෙලා නැත්නම් VAT එකට මොකද කරන්න? If our business is registered for VAT, VAT paid amount can be claimed. එතකොට VAT paid එක වෙනම asset එකක් විදිහට යන්නේ බලන්න. අපි register වෙලා නැත්නම් තමයි VAT එක අපේ purchase වල නම් purchase වලට යනවා. asset එකක් purchase කරොත් asset එක cost එකට යනවා. අපි register වෙලා නැත්නම්. But in this example, registered for value added tax. In this situation, VAT value should not be considered as a part of cost value. And brought machine 20 million on 1st April 2020. This is includes 2 million VAT. Think VAT value cannot be considered as a part of cost value of machine. Therefore, as a cost value, you have to consider as a cost of machine equal as a cost of machine 20 million from that value deduct VAT value. It is included. Therefore, VAT value should not be considered as a part of cost value. But given 20 million, this is included 2 million VAT. Therefore, VAT value is not part of cost value. VAT value should be recognized separately as assets. VAT control account debit, machine account debit, cash account credit. Given lifetime 5 years, it has residual value. It has no residual value. No residual value. Think depreciable amount equal cost value. If there is no residual value, depreciable amount equal cost value. They are true and false. They are true and false. Very, very important. If there is no residual value, cost value equal depreciable amounts. They are true and false. Here no residual value. Therefore, cost value equal 80 million. That is, value should be considered as a depreciable amounts. But they are carrying amounts end of the accounting periods. Therefore, first one, try to calculate annual depreciation. Asset purchase beginning of the year. Annual depreciation. Cost value equal 18 million. Residual value 0. Think depreciable amount equal cost value. Lifetime it has given 5. Therefore, divide by 5 equal annual depreciation. Therefore, annual depreciation equal 3,600,000. They are carrying amounts as at 31st March 21. End of the year. Therefore, carrying amount equal cost minus accumulated depreciation. Cost value equal 18 million. As accumulated depreciation, you have to consider annual depreciation. Therefore, think cost value 18 million. As accumulated depreciation, you have to consider annual depreciation. Therefore, net book value equal 14,400,000. This is a carrying amount. Think how to calculate cost value, how to calculate annual depreciation, how to calculate carrying amounts. There are more theory available here. Very important value added tax. ඔන්න තේරුම් ගන්න ඕනේ VAT එක cost එකට එනවද නැද්ද? කොයි වෙලාවෙද එන්නේ කොයි වෙලාවෙද එන්නේ නැද්ද? Definitely they ask in the paper. Reason VAT is a legal requirements. VAT charged by the government from the custom. All the business organization available VAT. Our duty in accounting, we are going to provide information. Therefore, you have to know how to provide information about value added tax. Next one. Next one, very, very important. ඔන්න මේ ගානේ අලුත් දෙයක් තව තියෙන ඉගෙන ගන්න. මේ වගේ ගණන් මම මේ හැමදාම වගේ දාන්නේ standard part එක realize කරන්න. Standards. LK 16 available here. Very important. Think about last part. මෙන්න මේක තමයි මට කියලා දෙන්න ඕනේ. This one very, very important. That's given cost of introduce new product or service, including cost of advertising and promotional activities. as well as this part, think about present value of cost of dismantling and removing it item. මේ part එක මම මීට කලින් කියලා දීලා නැහැ. LK16, you have to know how to calculate cost value of property, plant and equipment. Cost value of property, plant, equipment. දැන් නිකන් හිතන්න අපි ෆැක්ටරි එක පටන් ගන්න මැෂින්ස් ටිකක් ජපානයෙන් අපි ගෙනවා කියලා හිතමුකෝ. ඒතර දැන් මැෂින් එකේ cost එක විදිහට කීයක් ගන්න ඕනද කියලා හොයන්න ඕන අපි. ෆැක්ටරි එකේ තියෙන ලංකාවේ මැෂින්ස් ටික ගේන්නේ ජපානයෙන්. ඒතර අපි වෙනවා ජපානයේ කම්පැනියෙන් ගන්න ඕන. ඔන්න ඒගොල්ලෝ ගාණක් ගෙවන්න ඕන. ඒගොල්ලෝ ඩිස්කවුන්ට් එකක් එහෙම තිබ්බොත් ඒක අපි අඩු කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඊට පස්සේ ජපානයෙන් වරායට ගේන්න ඕනේ එහෙ. මොකක් හරි වාහන වල දාගෙන. ඊට පස්සේ වරායෙන් ලංකාවට ගේන්න ඕන. Import duty, think about shipping charges, loading unloading cost. ඊට පස්සේ වරායට ගෙනල්ලා වෙලා වරායෙන් දැන් අපි බිස්නස් එකට ගේන්න ඕන. ඊට පස්සේ අපි බිස්නස් එකට ගෙනල්ලා සයිට් එක හදන්න ඕන, ප්‍රොපෙයා කරන්න ඕන, සයිට් ප්‍රෙපරේෂන්. ඊට පස්සේ මැෂින් එක ඉන්ස්ටොලේෂන් එක කරන්න ඕන. ඉන්ජිනියර්ස්ලා ගේන්න ඕන. මේක හරියට වැඩ කරනවද කියලා බලන්න ටෙස්ටිං පාර්ට් එකක් කරන්න ඕන. ඒ කියන්නේ ඇසෙට් එක ගෙනල්ලා යූස් කරන්න පුළුවන් තැනට එනකම් දරලා තියෙන සියලුම එක්ස්පෙන්ස් ඇසෙට් එකේ cost එකට එනවා. Right now think about this one. For not only purchase price. ජපාන නෙවෙයි ෆැක්ටරිය තියෙන අපේ ෆැක්ටරිය තියෙන්නේ මේ. ජපානයෙන් ගන්න ගියපු ගාන විතරක් මැෂින් එකේ cost එකට ගන්න බෑ. think cash account credit, machine account debit, which value? Very important. ඒතර මේ ගාන තේරුනොත් ඔය theory part ඔක්කොම තේරෙනවා. Right, given list price, think business is not registered for VAT. Very important. ඕන register වෙලා නැත්තම් asset එකේ cost එක එනවා බලන්න. Think about question number 7th one, business is registered for VAT. Question number 7 I have discussed already. Business is registered for VAT. If our business is registered for VAT, VAT value should not be considered as a part of cost value. But in this example, business is not registered for VAT. If our business is not registered, VAT value also should be considered as a part of cost value. For the VAT එකත් asset එකේ cost එකක් වෙනවා. Right. List price it is given, and think here it has given trade discounts. List price it has given, therefore this value should be considered. VAT paid amount also should be considered now. Reason business is not registered, and import duty should be considered. Transport cost should be considered. Site preparation should be considered, and cost of installation should be considered. Professional fees should be considered. Cost of initial testing also should be considered. Initial testing cost, it has given 100 unit manufactured during the initial testing was sold for 1,200 also. You have to consider it also. Initial testing cost also should be considered. But think about expenses for opening ceremony. Expenses for opening ceremony should not be considered. It has given clearly standards. Expenses for opening ceremony. And cost of employee training cost also should not be considered as a part of cost value of assets. Annual maintenance cost should not be considered. But government rebates, that value should be deducted. Or make it should be deducted. You have to consider, but as a minus value. And balance part think about. One of them මෙන්න මේ part එක මම මීට කලින් කවදාවත් දීලා නැහැ. But it has available standards. Present value of cost of dismantling and removing it items. ඔන්න මේ machine එක අපි high කරනවනේ දැන් ගෙනල්ලා. අනේ high කරාට පස්සේ useful lifetime එක ඉවර වුණාට පස්සේ මේක අයින් කරන්න එපා අපි. ඒක දැන් අවුරුදු 5ක් පාවිච්චි කරලා පස්සේ මේක අයින් කරන්න එපා business එකෙන්. අන්න එහෙම අයින් කරනකොට මොකක් හරි cost එකක් යනවනම් අන්න ඒකේ present value එකත් asset එකේ cost එකට ගන්න කියලා කියනවා. ඔන්න කියලා දෙන්න ඕන දෙයක්. Present value of cost of dismantling and removing the item. Very important part this one. Very, very important. Think this part very important. ඒ කියන්නේ අපි ගේන machine එක අද high කරනවා කියමුකෝ. අවුරුදු 5යි පාවිච්චි කරන්න පුළුවන්. It has given lifetime. දැන් අවුරුදු 5කට පස්සේ මේක දැන් අයින් කරන්න බෑ. අවුරුදු 5කට පස්සේ අන්න එදා දරන්න වෙන වියදම ඒකේ present value. It present value also should be considered as a part of cost value of property, plant and equipment. Think how to calculate cost value. ඔන්න ආවොත් exam එකේ කරන්න ඕනේ. This value also should be considered as a part of cost value of property, plant and equipment. Think present value මේ දරන්න වෙන්නේ අවුරුදු 5කට පස්සේ. ඒ ගාන නෙමෙයි ඒකේ present value. Present value we have discussed. Think about lesson last one. Discounting factor is given. Therefore, this is a present value of after 5 year value. අවුරුදු 5කට පස්සේ තමයි remove කරන්නේ. ඉදා නිකන් හිතන්න රුපියල් ලක්ෂ 5ක් දරන්නවා කියලා. ඒකේ present value එක තමයි මේ තියෙන්නේ. And it is given cost of introducing new product or service, including cost of advertising and promotional activities. ඔන්න මේකත් ගන්න එපා කියලා ස්ටෑන්ඩඩ් එකේ කියනවා. Therefore, sometimes it is given MCQ paper. Cost of introducing new product or service, including advertisement and promotional activities. Those value cannot be considered as a part of cost value. All other things should be considered and given trade discount 10% as less 100 unit manufactured during the initial testing was sold for 1,200 and given residual value lifetime also given. What is the requirements? They ask, it is given installation of machine was completed 1st July 2020. Therefore, think how many months available. Depreciation can be calculated from installation completed dates. Asset එක use කළොත් විතරයි depreciate කරන්න. එන asset එක use කරන්නේ installation එක ඉවර වෙන දවස. It is given installation of machine was completed on 1st July 2020. Machine can be used from this date. Machine can be used from this date. Sometimes it is given initial testing. දැන් high කරාට මෙදාම initial testing එක කරන්න නැති වෙන්න පුළුවන්. බැරි වෙලාවත් අපිට කිව්වොත් මේ initial testing එක කරලා තියෙන මෙදා කියලා අන්න එදා ඉඳන් තමයි අපි depreciation හොයන්නේ. Right now, what is the requirements? They ask carrying amount of machine as at 31st March 21. First one, you have to calculate cost value. After that, you have to calculate annual depreciation. Then carrying amount can be calculated. Right. First one, try to calculate cost value. Cost value should be calculated. Think purchase price. Right. First one, try to calculate cost value. Prepare working for that. List price it has given. Discount it should be deducted. List price. It has given list price from the beginning 40 million. From that value, record values in 1000. Deduct trade discounts. Trade discount it has given 10%. Therefore, trade discount should be deduct. Record values in 1000. Therefore, minus trade discounts. Trade discount should be deduct. And given 10% trade discounts, therefore, based on this value, 10% equal 4,000. Therefore, as a purchase price, you have to consider 36,000. That is, value should be considered as a purchase price. In list price and purchase price. Therefore, this is value should be considered as a purchase price. Then VAT value also should be considered. Reason business is not registered. VAT paid amount equal 5,400. VAT value also should be considered as a part of cost value. Reason our business is not registered. Then think about transport cost. Import duty, transport cost, site preparation, installation, professional fees, as well as initial testing cost also should be considered as a part of cost value. Therefore, try to calculate cost value. Record values in 1000. Import duty as well as VAT paid amounts, transport cost, site preparation cost, installation charges, and professional fees also should be considered. But initial testing total value cannot be considered. Think it has given 100 unit manufactured during the initial testing was sold for 1200. Think it value 100 unit manufactured during the initial testing. Therefore, 100 into its selling price equal 1200. Therefore, 120,000 receipts incurred for initial testing 520,000. Initial testing incurred 520,000, but it has given 100 unit manufactured during the initial testing was sold for 1200. Therefore, cash received amount equal 120. Therefore, 520,000 minus 120, that is the value should be considered as initial testing cost. Therefore, cost incurred for initial testing 520,000, but received amount equal 120. As initial testing, you have to consider only 400,000. As well as it has given government rebates. Government rebates should be deducted. Value equal 1 million. Government rebates. රජයේ සහනාධාරයක් දීලා තිබොත් ඒවා අපි deduct කරන්න පුළුවන්. Therefore, government rebates value equal 1 million. That value can be deducted. Then සමහර factories එහෙම දිරිගන්වන්න රජයේ සහනාධාර දෙනවා. Deduct. Then next one it has given very important. Present value of cost of dismantling and removing item also should be considered as a part of cost value. 300,000. Therefore, here plus 300,000. Present value of cost of dismantling and removing building. Now take the total value. That is, value should be considered as a cost value. This is the cost of assets machine. Take the answer. 36,000 plus 5,400 plus 1,800 plus 1,200. Take value. Therefore, cost value equal 48,000. And government rebate should be deducted. Government rebate should be deducted. Therefore, cost value equal 47,700. 47,700, that is cost value. But they don't ask cost value. 47,700, that is a cost value. And given residual value also, think installation was completed 1st July 2020. Therefore, depreciation should be calculated from this date. End of the accounting period 31st March 21. Therefore, this machine used during the accounting period. This machine used during the accounting period only 9-month periods. Therefore, depreciation should be calculated only for 9 months. Depreciation should be calculated only for 9 months. Residual value is given. They ask carrying amounts. Therefore, try to calculate annual depreciation. Annual depreciation. Cost value equal 47,700 and given residual value 2,700. Also given here. Cost minus residual value divided by lifetime and given useful lifetime also 5 years. That is annual depreciation, but it has available only 9-month periods. Therefore, this one into 9 or 12. This is annual depreciation. First one, take the annual depreciation value. Annual depreciation value equal 9,000, and based on that value, you have to calculate 9-month periods. Installation was completed 1st July 2020. Therefore, asset can be used during the accounting period only 9 months. Therefore, 9 over 12, that is a value should be considered as a depreciation. Take the value. Therefore, annual depreciation equals 6,750. Annual depreciation equal 9,000, but assets available during the accounting period, think from installation date, only 9-month periods. Therefore, cost value equal 47,700. Now calculate carrying amounts. There's carrying amount 31st March 2021. Therefore, carrying amount equal cost value calculated already. Cost value equal 47,700. From that value deduct 6,750. Not 9,000. Assets available during the accounting period only 9 months. Therefore, 47,700 from that value. 47,000 minus annual depreciation 6,750. Therefore, net book value equal 40,950. 40,950. That is a carrying amount. Think what would be the answer? They ask carrying amount end of the year. When calculating annual depreciation, it has available only 9-month period during the accounting period. 40,950, that is annual depreciation. Therefore, 40,950. Question number 8, answer fourth one. 8, answer 4. Next one, question number 9. Think question number 8, very, very important. Present value of cost of dismantling and removing item, very important. As well as it has given clearly standards, those kind of things should not be considered as a part of cost value. Accounting standards. On a standard there in practice second ban. Ganan hadon nikama realization. මොනවද එන්නේ කියලා තේරුම් ගන්න, එන්නේ නැත්නම් මොනවද කියලා තේරුම් ගන්න, and government rebates should be deducted. As well as very important thing about initial testing cost, how much should be considered. Then depreciation thing started from after completion of installation. Based on matching concepts, if asset used should be depreciated. Next one, question number 9, relevant for EPF and ETF. EPF and ETF. Think it has given trial balance salary. Try to recognize which salary. As well as EPF payable accounts, ETF payable accounts, ETF expense account, EPF expense accounts. As well as it has given EPF paid and ETF paid. EPF paid and ETF paid. There's it has given EPF contribution of employer 15% and 10% of the gross salary of the employees. ETF contribution of employer 5% of the gross salary of the employees. And contribution of employee has not been recorded entire year. It has given contribution of employee has not been recorded entire year. Therefore, trial balance available net salary. Think contribution of employee, salary account debit, EPF payable account credit. It has not recorded. In this situation, as salary available, paid in cash value, net salary, cash account credit, salary account debit. But second step, contribution of employee was not recorded. That is the way you have to decide salary available in the trial balance net or gross. Think EPF contribution of employee was not recorded. In this situation, trial balance available as a salary, net salary. Then from the beginning, try to calculate gross salary. And given EPF paid and ETF paid also, EPF paid and ETF paid also. They ask, what is the expense? What is the employee related total expense? As well as they ask, total liability as at 31st March 21. Prepare the ledger accounts And first one, try to calculate net salary. Given net salary, gross salary should be calculated. Gross salary should be calculated. Therefore, it has given contribution of employee 10%, deducted contribution of employee gross salary equal 630,000 divided by 90 into 100. This is the way you have to calculate gross salary. Then try to calculate EPF contribution of employer and employee. Based on gross salary should be calculated. EPF employee contribution 10%. Value should be calculated based on gross salary. Contribution of employee has given 10%, value equals 70,000. As let's try to calculate EPF employer. EPF employer also based on gross salary 15%. Gross salary 15% equal 700,000 into 15%, 105,000. As let's calculate ETF employer. ETF employer. ETF only give their contribution by the employer. Employer mean business. It has given 5%. Therefore, value should be calculated based on gross salary. 5% equal 35,000. Now think salary account. They ask employee related total expense. As employee related total expense, you have to consider as a salary, gross salary, as a salary, gross salary, salary account balance, and EPF expense, ETF expense. Those are the employee related expense. Therefore, as employee related expense, you have to consider as a salary, gross salary, and employee EPF expense, ETF expense, only contribution of employer. Therefore, 700,000 plus 105,000 plus 35,000. This is the employee related expense. This is the employee related expense. Employee related expense. Employee related expense equal, as a salary you have to consider gross salary as well as EPF expense, ETF expense, only contribution of employer. Only contribution of employer. Therefore, employee related expense equal 840,000. This is value should be considered as employee related expense. Think salary account balance. As a salary, you have to consider gross salary and EPF employer, ETF employer. Those are the values should be considered as EPF expense as well as ETF expense. Think how to calculate employee related expense of the business. Then think about EPF payable account balance. EPF payable account balance, how to calculate? EPF payable. There's total liability. Therefore, this is the way you have to calculate EPF payable. Think contribution of employee, salary account debit, EPF payable account credit. Think there's total liability. Therefore, first one, think about EPF payable. EPF payable. EPF payable equal, there's total liability. EPF payable. EPF payable. Opening balance 80,000. Opening balance 80,000. And contribution of employee 70,000. Salary account debit, EPF payable account credit. Therefore, contribution of employee not recorded. It is also effect for EPF payable. And contribution of employer, think expense account balance available 80,000, but contribution of employer equal 105,000. Recorded already 80,000. Therefore, balance part 105,000 minus 80,000. Therefore, not recorded 25,000. EPF expense account debit, EPF payable account credit. EPF expense account debit, EPF payable account credit. Thing expense account balance available. Difference value was not recorded. Therefore, EPF difference value, think about correct value equal 105,000. Correct value 105,000, but paid in cash equal recorded value equal 80,000. Therefore, difference 25,000 was not recorded. It is also effect for EPF payable accounts. And EPF paid in cash, it has given 60,000. That value should be deducted. That value should be deducted. Think EPF payable account balance. EPF payable account balance. Opening balance 80,000. Then opening balance 80,000. And EPF contribution of employee value equal 70,000. And employer recorded all the 80,000, but correct value equal 105,000. Difference 25,000 also. EPF expense account debit, EPF payable account credit. And given EPF paid in cash 60,000. It should be deducted. Now take the answer. Take the answers. There's total liability, EPF payable as well as ETF payable also you have to consider. ETF payable also you have to consider. Try to calculate ETF payable also. Try to calculate ETF payable also. There's total liability. There's total liability. Therefore, here will be equal EP payable 80,000 plus 70,000 plus 25,000 minus 60. Therefore, 115,000. That is a EPF payable. Like that, you have to calculate ETF payable also. ETF payable also you have to calculate. There's total liability. Total liability there's. This is the ETF payable. This is ETF payable, EPF payable. At the same time, try to calculate ETF payable also. ETF payable also. Total liability there's. Then try to calculate ETF payable also. ETF payable. As a ETF payable, you have to consider. As a ETF payable, you have to consider. Think ETF payable opening balance it has given 25,000. ETF payable opening balance it has given 25,000. ETF payable. ETF payable. Opening balance it has given 25,000. And it has given ETF expense account balance. Think about ETF expense account balance available. ETF expense. As expense, you have to consider only contribution of employer. But contribution of employee equal 35,000. But ETF expense account balance available. Expense account balance 25,000. Correct value equal 35,000. But not recorded balance part 10,000. Therefore, 10,000 ETF expense account debit, ETF payable account credit. Here plus 10,000. As well as it has given ETF paid in cash. ETF paid 20,000. That value should be deducted. 20,000 paid to the central bank. 20,000 paid to the central bank. Therefore, difference value payable. Take the difference value. Therefore, ETF payable ETF payable value equal ETF payable value equal 15,000. There's total liability. Therefore, think about 115,000 as well as 15,000. Therefore, total liability equal. Therefore, total liability equal 115,000 plus 15,000. Therefore, total liability equal 130,000. Think EPF payable and ETF payable. EPF, effect for EPF payable contribution of employee as well as contribution of employer balance part. You have to compare with these two values. EPF expense account balance available 80,000. That is value recorded already. But as expense, you have to consider 105,000. Difference 25,000 also part of EPF payable. Think about this part. Difference value. Here, difference value 25,000 also should be at here. 25,000. And ETF also. ETF expense account balance available 25,000. But as expense, we have to consider 35,000. Difference 10,000 also should be considered as ETF payable. Opening balance it has given 25,000. And given paid value, those are the value paid in cash to the central bank. Central bank එකට හැම මාසෙම යවන්න ඕන EPF and ATF. ඔන්න යවලා තියෙන ටික. Cash account credit EPF payable account should be debit. Therefore should be debit. Therefore this is the total liability. And as expense should be considered gross salary as well as EPF and ETF expense. As EPF and ETF expense, we have to consider contribution of employer. Therefore, question number 9th one answer. 9th one answer. Last one. Answer 5. Question number 9. Answer 5. Next one, question number 10. Think question number 10 also. EPF and ETF relevant for MCQ paper. Question number 10 also same way. Try to recognize gross salary and net salary. Try to recognize gross salary as well as net salary. Given salary, EPF payable, ETF payable. දැන් salary කියලා මෙතන නිකන් දීලා තියෙන බලන්න. ඕගොල්ලෝ තේරුම් ගන්න ඕනේ මේ තියෙන්නේ gross එකද net එකද කියලා. It is depend on EPF contribution of employee. Now think about it has given EPF percentage normal. Contribution of employee has been recorded for entire year. Now contribution of employee recorded. In this situation, trial balance available gross salary. Therefore, this is a gross salary. Now no need to calculate gross salary. Therefore, gross salary equal 600,000. Gross salary it has given now. Try to recognize difference between question number 9 and 10. Think how to recognize salary gross on it. And based on gross salary can be calculated EPF contribution of employee and employer. Therefore, EPF employee no need to calculate, it has already recorded, but just think about it. Gross salary equals 600,000. Based on that value, 10%. Therefore, contribution of employee equals 60,000. As well as EPF employer, gross salary equals 600,000. Based on that value, 15%. Therefore, value equal 90,000. And ETF only give their contribution by employer. ETF only employer. Now it has given trial balance gross salary. Therefore 5%. Therefore here value equal 30,000. Now think as a salary you have to consider. There's employee related expense. As an employee related expense you have to consider as a salary gross salary and EPF expense and ETF expense, contribution of employer. There's first one, employee related expense. Employee related total expense. There's employee related total expense. As employee related total expense equal, as a salary you have to consider gross salary, and as a EPF expense only employer contribution. Only employer contribution became expense. Contribution of employee included salary, no need to record again, as well as contribution of employer for ETF. Then take the answer. Take the answers. There's employee related expense. Their value equal 720,000. Employee related expense equal 720,000, as well as there's total liability, thing EPF payable as well as ETF payable. Try to calculate employee related total liability. There's total liability. Therefore, EPF payable as well as ETF payable you have to consider. EPF payable and ETF payable. First one, EPF payable. As EPF payable thing, how much should be considered? EPF payable account balance it has given 130,000. Now contribution of employee has been recorded. Therefore, contribution of employee should not be considered. It has recorded. But think about ETF. Expense account balance available 70,000. But employer contribution equal 90,000. EPF contribution of employer should be considered as expense. But EPF expense account balance available 90,000, 70,000. But contribution of employee equal 90,000. Balance 20,000. EPF expense account debit, EPF payable account credit. As well as it has given EPF paid in cash 90,000. Therefore, from that value deduct 90,000. EPF paid in cash it has given 90,000. Think 20,000 you have to consider, 70,000 for the year value. So for the year value equal 90,000 and recorded as EPF expense 70,000. Balance 20,000. EPF expense account debit, EPF payable account credit. As well as given EPF paid in cash 90,000 deduct. Therefore, paid amount should be deduct. Therefore, this is EPF payable. EPF payable account balance equal 60. Think like that ETF payable also. ETF payable. ETF payable also opening balance equal 22,000. Now see the ETF expense account balance it has given. ETF expense account balance 22,000. But contribution of employer for ETF equal 30,000. Therefore, difference 8,000. ETF expense account debit, ETF payable account credit. Difference 8,000. As well as ETF paid in cash 15,000 to the central bank. That value should be deducted. Then take the answer ETF payable. ETF payable. There's total liability. Therefore, ETF payable equal 15,000. ETF payable equal 15,000. ETF payable equal 60,000. Therefore, here total liability equal 75,000. Therefore, total liability equal 60,000 EPF payable as well as ETF payable 15,000. Therefore, total liability equals 75,000. Think what would be the answer? there's total liability as well as employee related total expense. Very important. ගොඩක් ළමයි දන්නේ නැහැ EPF adjustment එක. salary තියෙන gross ද net ද කියලා හොයාගන්න දන්නේ නැහැ. මේ ගණන් දෙක තේරුණොත් ඔක්කොම තේරෙනවා බලන්න. think about EPF payable ETF payable මෙන්න මේ පාඩේ චුට්ටක් බලන්න. EPF contribution of employer value equal 90,000. But here balance sheet has given 70,000. Therefore, difference 20,000. EPF expense account debit, EPF payable account credit. Think about this 20,000. As well as ETF also. ETF contribution of employer equal 30,000. But it has given as a ETF expense account 22,000. Therefore, think about here difference value equal 8,000. ETF expense account debit, ETF payable account credit. Difference value 8,000. Think about 30,000 minus 22,000. Opening balance it has given. And paid in cash to the central bank. EPF paid, ETF paid, those are the value paid in cash to the central bank. EPF and ETF fund maintained by the central bank. Each and every month. That value should be transferred to the central bank. Therefore, there's total liability. Therefore, this is answer. Total liability equal 75,000. As well as employee related expense equal 720,000. Therefore, question number 10 answer. Expense equal 720,000. But EPF and ETF payable will be equal. EPF and ETF payable amount equal 75,000. There's total liability. Question number 10 answer. 10 answer first one. The next one 11. MCQ very important. MCQ very important. Next one 11. ඔන්න මීට කලින් ඇවිල්ලාම නැහැ paper එක. This part very important. Standard LKS 16. ඔන්න තේරුම් ගන්න try කරන්න. තාම ඇවිල්ලා නැහැ මේ පාර එන්නේ ඉස්සරෝම. And revaluation reserves account balance available 12,000. Retained earning balance it has given 17,000. Retained earning balance. And given motor vehicle which was sold for 21,000 on 1st October 2020. Carrying amount of disposal motor vehicle as at the disposal date 17,000. In disposal, profit and loss can be calculated by comparing carrying amounts. By comparing carrying amounts and disposal value. Carrying amount it has given 17,000 and disposal value is given 21,000. And disposal motor vehicle had been revalued and generated revaluation surplus. Thing had been revalued and generated revaluation surplus 1.5 million. ඔන්නෝක තමයි මට කියලා දෙන්න ඕන. disposal කරපු asset එක මීට කලින් revalue කරලා තිබුණොත් මොකද අපි කරන්න ඕනේ? ඒ කියන්නේ මීට කලින් revalue කරලා profit එකක් තිබිච්ච asset එකක් disposal කරලා. තාම ඇවිල්ලා නැහැ. But it has given clearly standards. Think how to adjust it. An annual depreciation of motor vehicle for the year end 31st March 21, it has given 9,000. No entry has been made in these respects. Thus, what is the balance of revaluation reserves accounts and retained earning as at 31st March 21 after adjusting above transaction? Think retained earning, effect for return earning, income and expense. Retained earning, effect, income and expense, and revaluation reserves account balance also given. Revalue කරපු asset එකක් විකුණලා. Right, there's closing balance of revaluation reserves and return earning. Prepare two columns. Two columns, revaluation reserves and return earning. Prepare working like that. It has given balances, revaluation reserves and return earning. Revaluation reserves and return earning balance sheet as given. Revaluation reserves and return earning balance sheet as given. Take from the beginning balance 12,000 and 17,000. Very important this one. මේත් එක standard part එක තේරුම් ගන්න try කරන්න. Trial balance sheet as given. Revaluation reserves account balance 12,000. Retain earning account balance sheet as given 17,000. Think first one, motor vehicle disposal profit and loss can be recognized. It has not given accumulated depreciation. It has not given cost value. Therefore, no need to prepare disposal accounts, but given carrying amounts as well as disposal value. By comparing carrying amounts and disposal value can be recognized disposal profit and loss. Carrying amount of disposal asset equals 17,000, but disposal value is given 21,000. Carrying amount is higher than the disposal value. So disposal value is higher than the carrying amounts. Therefore, difference value should be considered as a profit. Difference value should be considered as a profit. Therefore, revaluation profit equal difference value 4,000. Therefore, revaluation, sorry, disposal profit, disposal value 21,000, carrying amount equal 17,000. Therefore, can be recognized disposal profit. Disposal profit equal 21,000 minus 17,000. Disposal profit should be included in income statement. Therefore, it is prepared for return earning columns. Sorry. Disposal profit include income statement, effect for return earning increase, as well as annual depreciation is given. Annual depreciation expense as a result of depreciation, profit decrease. Therefore, it is also effect for return earning columns. Minus value equal 9,000 as a result of depreciation, profit decrease, profit effect for part of return earning. Now think about revaluation part. On a revalue කරපු asset එකක් විකුණුවොත්, think it has given disposal motor vehicle had been revalued and generated revaluation surplus 1.5 million. හරි හොඳට අහගන්න දැන්. revalue කරපු asset එකක් විකුණුවොත් එහෙම මේ අවුරුද්දේ. Disposal adjustment should be done normal way. And revaluation surplus. Then මේ 1,500 revaluation reserves වල තියන්න බෑ. මොකද දැන් asset එක නෑ අපි ගාව. That value should be transferred to the retained earning columns. Therefore, revaluation profit of disposal assets. Reserves වල තියන්න බෑ asset එක නැති නිසා. අන්න එක transfer කරන්න ඕන retained earning column එකට. Therefore, here revaluation profit of disposal assets. Revaluation profit surplus. Revaluation surplus of disposal asset. ඔන්න revalue කරලා profit එකක් තිබිච්ච asset එකක් විකුණුවොත් disposal adjustment should be done normal way, and it revaluation profit should be transferred from revaluation reserves to return earning. එහෙනම් මෙතන minus වෙනවා 1,500. It should be added to the retained earning columns. ඔන්න තේරුම් ගන්න ඕන දේ. තාම exam එක ඇවිල්ලා නැහැ, ඉන්න පුළුවන් මේ පාර. ඒ කියන්නේ revalue කරපු asset එකක් විකුණුවොත් කලින් අර revaluation surplus එකට මොකද වෙන්නේ කියන එක. That value should be transferred from revaluation reserves to return earning. Therefore, now there's correct balance after registering revaluation reserves and return earning. Therefore, revaluation reserves balance equal 10,800, 10,500 as well as return earning balance. Plus value add minus value deduct. Therefore, here balance equal 13,500. Very important. revaluation surplus of disposal assets. ඔන කොහෙන්වත් ඉගෙන ගන්න හම්බෙන්නේ නැහැ. Revaluation surplus of disposal assets. Right, therefore answer is 10,500 as well as return earning 13,500. Very important thing about this part, it has given clearly standards. If disposal assets, if revalued assets dispose during the current period, disposal adjustments should be done normal way, and revaluation surplus available in the reserves accounts, it should be transferred to the return earning columns. On a company sum එකේ adjustment එකක් විතරයි ආවොත් මේ විදියට in the statement of change in equity, statement of change in equity as revaluation surplus of disposal assets from deduct revaluation reserves accounts, and that value should be added to the return earning columns. Right, question number 11, 12 also relevant for goods sent on sales or return based in past. ඔන්න දැන් අර පාඩ එක තේරුම් ගන්න බලන්න. If it has not recorded, think correct sales value as well as correct data value they ask. Goods sent on sales or return basis. Trial balance it has given data value and sales value. Goods sent on sales or return basis. Now it has given invoice price. Invoice price it has given. Think profit margin now it has given. On a කලින් හදපු ගාන මන් දුන්නේ markup. Here it has given invoice price. This is invoice price. And profit markup is given on selling price. If it is given, profit margin is given. If it is markup on cost, if it is margin on selling price, definitely markup and margin they check. Therefore, you have to know. And now it has not given, it has been recorded as a credit sales. On then record කරලා කියලා දීලා නැහැ. At the end of the current periods, it has given at the end of the current periods that it first revolves 30% of goods were remain. On a 30% විකුණලා නැහැ. Out of sales or return based stock. And time period also was not expired. තාම අපි එවන්න කියලා තියලා තියෙන කාලය ඉවරලත් නැහැ. Right. It has not given clearly recorded or not, and given inventory available at the store 31st March 21. There's correct sales value as at 31st March 21, as well as data value and inventory value as at 31st March 21. That first one, by using profit margin, try to calculate cost value. Given selling price, it cost value should be calculated from the beginning. Therefore, think now it has given margin. I have discussed all the markup. General equation cost plus profit equal cost plus profit equal selling price. This is general equation. Selling price. Think about how to determine selling price. Markup and margin. Now it has given margin 40% on selling price. If it is margin selling price 100 equal profit equal 40%. Think it has given margin. If it is margin selling price 100, cost profit equal 40. Think in this situation selling price equal how much? Cost value equal 60. Think margin. If it is margin selling price 100. Now it has given invoice price, it is equal selling price. Therefore, it cost value can be recognized. Therefore, cost value equal. Think invoice price we know. Therefore, invoice price, this one equal. And then මෙතන තියෙන value එක මේක equal වෙන්නේ මෙන්න මෙයාට. Think invoice price equal now 100. We are going to calculate cost value. Therefore, cost value equal. Cost value equal 800,000 divided by 100 into 60. Now we have to calculate cost value. Selling price is given. Therefore, cost value equal 480,000. Cost value 480. Selling price equal 800,000. And it has not given clearly recorded or not. If it has not given, not recorded. But 30% not sales. It means 70% sales. More than 30% නෙවෙයි අපි හොයන්න ඕනේ 70%. Record කරලා කියලා දීලා නැත්නම් record කරලා නැහැ. Therefore should be recorded. 30% not sales. It means 70% sales. Therefore, based on selling price, 70% should be calculated. Invoice price equal 800,000. Now not 30%. Now 70% should be calculated. Therefore, 70% equal 560,000. Should be recorded. Therefore, this value should be recorded as a credit sales. This value should be recorded. Should be recorded as a credit sales. As a credit sales. Therefore, debtors account, debit, sales account, credit. 560,000 should be added, both debtor and sales. Therefore, here plus debtor plus 560,000. Debtor plus 560,000, as well as sales also plus. Sales also plus 560,000. It has not recorded now. Then deduct කරන එක නෙවෙයි කියලා බලන්න. කලින් ගාන අපි කරේ deduct කළා. Reason already recorded as credit sales. Record කරලා තිබුණම විකිණිච්ච නැති ටික අයින් කරන්න ඕන. Record කරලා නැතුවම විකිණිච්ච ටික record කරන්න ඕන. Therefore, now 70%. Debtors account, debit, sales account, credit. Then can be calculated correct debtor value and correct sales value. Take the answers. Correct debtor value. There's correct debtor value. There's correct debtor value. Trial balance, it has given debtors 760,000 plus 560,000. There's correct debtor value. It has not recorded, therefore should be recorded. Debtors account, debit, sales account, credit. Therefore, correct debtor value equal 1,320,000. And try to calculate correct sales value also. Correct sales value. Given trial balance sales value. Trial balance sales, it has given 3.8 million plus 560,000. It has not given clearly. It means not recorded. Therefore, should be recorded. Debtors account, debit, sales account, credit. Therefore, 4,360,000. 4,360,000 correct sales value. As well as think about it is effect for inventory also. If it has not sales, then අපි යවලන තියෙන වෙන business එකට. ඒතකොට විකුණලා නැත්නම් ඒවා එහෙ තියෙන්නේ. But inventory should be calculated based on physical counts. Inventory හැම business එකක්ම හොයන්නේ physically count කරලා. ඒතකොට දැන් physically count කරනකොට මේවා store එකේ නැති නිසා ඒවා අපි consider කරලා නැහැ. But it right as our business. Goods sent to the other business on sales or return basis. 30% not sales. Based on cost value, 30% should be considered as our inventory. Therefore, goods sent on sales or return basis, it cost value equal 480,000. Not sales 30%. Inventory වලට effect වෙන්නේ විකුණලා නැත්තම්. Now no need to calculate 70%. Inventory වලට හැම වෙලාවෙම යන්නේ record කළත් නැතත් විකුණපු නැති ටිකේ cost එක. Record කරලා තිබුණත් නැතත්. Debtors ලා තමයි වෙනස් වෙන්නේ record කරලාද නැද්ද කියන එක මත. Effect for inventory based on cost value. Therefore, 408,000 into 30% equal 144,000. That value also should be considered as our inventory. Therefore, correct inventory value equal correct inventory correct inventory value equal inventory available as at 31st March 21, 286,000 plus 144,000 plus 144,000. Think goods sent on sales or return basis. If it has not sales, its cost value also should be considered as our inventory. Therefore, inventory value equal 430,000. Think inventory normally should be calculated based on physical accounts. එතකොට physically අපි calculate කරනකොට මේවා consider කරලා නැහැ. physically නැහැ අපි ගාව. තියෙන වෙන business එකේ. විකුණලා නැත්නම් අපිට right එක තියෙන අපිට. අන්න ඒකේ cost value එක inventory විදියට consider කරන්න ඕන. ඔන්න record කරලා නැත්නම් මොකද වෙන්නේ කියන එක. Question number second one, third one I have discussed. If it has recorded, very important. Question number 3 and 12, very important. Now think what would be the answer? There's correct sales value. Correct sales value equal 4,360,000. Correct debtor value equal 1,320,000. As well as inventory value equal 430,000. Therefore, answer first one. Question number 12, answer 1. MCQ very important. MCQ. බලන්න MCQ හදනකොට lesson එක ගොඩාක් කව වෙනවා. දැන් company ගානක් හැදුවට එහෙම කව වෙන්නේ නැහැ බලන්න. Therefore, very important MCQ parts. Syllabus එක කව වෙන්නේ MCQ වලින්. company ගානක් දෙයක් හැදුවට එහෙම කව වෙන්නේ නැහැ. Right, question number 12. Question number 12. Think 13. 13 11 for changes in account estimates. Changes in account estimates also there's definitely in the paper. Given following information 11 for machine owned by company. Cost value it has given 44,000. Accumulated depreciation it has given 31st March 2020 opening balance. And expected residual value it has given 4,000. Expected useful lifetime 20 years. 20 years. And on 1st April 2020. On 1st April 2020, question number 11, so 13. Company incurred 6 million for major improvement of machine. As a result, its remaining useful lifetime was increased by 6 years. Increased by 6 years. Therefore, it has not given clearly remaining lifetime also. You have to calculate. Remaining lifetime is not given. Sometimes it has given increase to 6 years. In this situation, 6 years. Sometimes it has given revised as 6 years. Ethakota 6 years. But here it is given increase by 6 years. Ethakota 6 years never. You have to calculate. However, its residual value remain unchanged. Then what is the depreciation of this machine for the year end 31st March 21? And there's carrying amounts. Right, think how to calculate now. Carrying amount there's as well as annual depreciation there's estimate change beginning of the year. Our accounting period end of the year 31st March 21. Think how to calculate annual depreciation. Increase by 6 years. Therefore, depreciation equal. Think equation for depreciation now. This is equation you have to apply. Depreciation equal annual depreciation equal cost minus accumulated depreciation. Annual depreciation. This is equation you have to apply. Equal cost minus accumulated depreciation minus new residual value. New residual value divided by remaining useful lifetime. Therefore, divided by remaining useful lifetime. Remaining useful lifetime This is equation you have to apply if it has given changes in accounting estimates. Cost minus accumulated depreciation minus new residual value divided by remaining useful lifetime. Think cost value we know. Cost value equal 44,000 plus renovation cost. Renovation cost. Therefore, cost value can be recognized. Think how to calculate depreciation. Cost value equal 44,000 plus 6,000. Cost value equal 44,000 plus 6,000 equal 60,000. Renovation cost also should be considered as a part of cost value now. And given accumulated depreciation also 22,000. As well as given residual value remain unchanged. Therefore, new residual value also equal 2,000. So 4,000. Residual value remain unchanged, but it has not given remaining useful lifetime. You have to find out how to find out remaining useful lifetime. Think accumulated depreciation is given 22,000. What is the meaning? That is the total depreciation. First one, try to calculate annual depreciation before changes in accounting estimates. Accumulated depreciation can may depreciation total. By using those information can be recognized how many years used. It has given accumulated depreciation. Think before changes in accounting estimates. Annual depreciation equal. Before changes in accounting estimates, depreciation can be calculated. Cost value it has given 44,000 and residual value it has given 4,000 divided by useful lifetime. This is where you have to calculate depreciation before changes in accounting estimates. Lifetime it has given 20. Therefore, annual depreciation equal 2,000. Annual depreciation 2,000. Cost minus residual value divided by lifetime. May tamai estimate change in a kalin tibba depreciation annual. But given total depreciation 22,000, then can be recognized used years. Used years. Total depreciation 22,000 divided by annual depreciation. 11 years. 11 years old use. Now try to calculate remaining useful lifetime. 20 years available, 11 years use. Therefore, 20 minus 11. 20 minus 11, that is a remaining lifetime. Then increase to, it has given increase by 6 years. Therefore, used years, 11 years. Total depreciation divided by annual depreciation. Now can be calculated remaining useful lifetime. Therefore, remaining useful lifetime. Remaining useful lifetime. Not given but can be calculated. 22 years available. 20 years available. Use already 11 years. Therefore, remaining lifetime equal 9 years. 9 years theorem. As a result of renovation, it has increased by 6 years. Therefore, here remaining lifetime equal 9 years. Then it is increased by 6 years. Therefore, remaining lifetime equal 15 years. Think how to calculate remaining lifetime. It has not given. Think increased by 6 years. Sometimes it has given increase to 6 years. 6 years. Sometimes it has given revised as 6 years. 6 years. But it has given increase by 6 years. Think how to calculate. First one, try to calculate annual depreciation before changes in accounting estimates. This is the first part. Think annual depreciation before changes in accounting estimates. Before changes in accounting estimates, annual depreciation. Then used years can be calculated. This is second part. Then remaining lifetime can be calculated. Therefore, this is the lifetime you have to consider. Therefore, remaining lifetime equal 15 years. 20 years available, 11 years use. Therefore, remaining 9 years, 9 plus 6, increase by 6. Increase to 6 increase by 6 years. Therefore, remaining lifetime equal 15 years. Therefore, here divide by 15 can be calculated annual depreciation. Now take the answers. Therefore, depreciation can be calculated 44,000 plus 6,000 equal 50,000 minus 22,000 as well as 4,000 divided by 15. Therefore, annual depreciation equal 1,600. Therefore, this is the first part, annual depreciation. They ask annual depreciation as well as they ask carrying amount 31st March 2021. Try to calculate carrying amounts. Carrying amounts. Carrying amount equal cost minus accumulated depreciation. Therefore, cost value equal now 50,000. 44,000 plus 6,000. Think how to calculate cost value. This is the cost value, and as accumulated depreciation, closing balance should be deducted. It is given from the beginning opening accumulated depreciation 22,000. Opening accumulated depreciation 22,000 and annual depreciation equal 1,600. There's end of the year carrying amounts. End of the year. Therefore, total cost value equal 50,000 and accumulated depreciation end of the current period equal 23,600. Therefore, take the carrying amounts. Carrying amount equal 50,000 minus 23,600. Therefore, value equal 26,400. Very important thing how to calculate annual depreciation as well as carrying amounts. Carrying amount equal 26,400. Therefore, answer is the first one. Question number 13, answer first one. Estimate change. Changes in economies definite දෙයක්. ඒවා අහන්නේ අනිවාර්යෙන් ඇයි ඒ? estimate කියනවා හරියටම අපිට කරන්න බෑ. ඒකනේ estimate සාමාන්‍යයෙන් වෙනස් වෙනවා. Due to new information as well as trend. Trend එක වෙනස් වෙනකොට as well as base, due to new information accounting estimate change. There's MCQ paper in which situation can be changed accounting estimates. Due to new information as well as trend. Trend එක වෙනස් වෙනකොට වෙනස් වෙනවා බලන්න. Therefore, you have to know how to calculate in this situation annual depreciation. මේවා අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම එනවා. What is the thing you have to keep in mind? ඒ කියන්නේ මේ විදියට මෙනවා කියලා නෙමෙයි මම කියන්නේ. මේ ගාන හදනකොට හිතන විදිය තියෙනවානේ. Cost incurred for renovation. Cash account credit, machine account debit කියන කතන්දරේ එනවා. Then estimate change in this situation, think how to calculate depreciation. Think how to calculate carrying amounts. Think how to calculate remaining lifetime. It has not given clear. Right. Question number 14. Question number 14, the loan for manufacturing accounts. You have to know how to calculate total production cost as well as cost of sales, prime cost. It has given following information is given relation to manufacturing organization for the month of August 2021. It has given only 1 month period. Raw material purchase, it has given direct labor, direct expense. This is the direct other expense. And production overhead also given. Raw material, work in progress, finished goods, it has given. Manufacturing item are sold, keeping profit margin 40% on selling price. Margin it has given. There's prime cost, cost of production, cost of sales, and gross profit. Prepare workings. It has given raw material purchase, but in the manufacturing accounts, as raw material, you have to consider raw material consumed. Raw material consumed should be considered. Right, first one take raw material consumed. It has given raw material purchase. Opening plus closing deduct. Opening closing inventory should be adjusted. And raw material consumed. It has given raw material purchase. Raw material consumed. How to calculate? Raw material purchased has given 386,000 plus opening inventory minus closing stock. It has given raw material inventory 31st July 2021, 31st August 2021. Think what this is opening balance, this is the closing balance. July opening, August closing balance. Therefore, opening plus raw material inventory and closing inventory deduct. Closing inventory equal 34,000. Raw material purchase it has given, but in the manufacturing accounts as raw material consumed should be included. Opening inventory plus closing inventory deduct. Therefore, value equal 368,000. This is a raw material consumed. Think as raw material in the manufacturing account should be included raw material consumed. Those are things you have to keep in mind. Sometimes it has given directly raw material consumed. If it has given directly, in this situation, no need to adjust raw material inventory. On a raw material consumed, do not adjust කරන්න බෑ. ඔන්න තේරුම් ගන්න දේවල්. If it has given raw material purchase, you have to adjust raw material inventory. And direct labor and direct other expense also part of prime cost. Then try to calculate prime cost. Prime cost should be calculated. Therefore, take total value 368,000 plus 215,000 plus 105. Therefore, 688,000. This is the prime cost. This is the prime cost. Therefore, recommend one there as prime cost. Value equal 688,000. Then plus production overheads. It has given production overhead 240,000 as well as adjust work in progress. Work in progress inventory has given opening plus closing deduct. Then can be calculate production cost. Opening work in progress equal to 27,000. Opening inventory plus and closing inventory minus. Closing inventory equal to 12,000. Therefore, work in progress here difference value equal 27 minus 12, 15,000 plus. Then answer that is a total production cost. That is a total production cost equal total production cost 688,000 plus 240,000 plus 15,000 equal 943,000. This is the total production cost. This is the total production cost. Then adjust finished goods also. Can be calculate cost of sales. It has given finished goods opening inventory 37,000 as well as given closing inventory. Manufacturing stock, total production cost should be included income statement under cost of sales calculation. Therefore, production cost then adjust finished goods, cost of sales can be calculated. Opening plus closing deduct inventory. Therefore, closing inventory deduct. Therefore, here 17,000. Therefore, answer is a cost of sales. Therefore, cost of sales is equal 960,000. This is the cost value of sales. Cost of sales. Cost of sales value equal 960,000. Now try to apply markup and margin. Therefore, cost of sales is equal 960,000. They ask gross profit. It has given profit margin 40% on selling price. Now think about general equation. Cost plus profit equals selling price. This is the general equation. Cost plus profit equals selling price. Selling price. Cost plus profit equals selling price. Given profit margin on selling price. If it has given margin, therefore selling price equal 100. If it has given margin, selling price 100, profit equal 40%, and cost value can be recognized. In this situation, cost value equal 60. If it has given profit margin, think profit decided based on selling price. Cost value equal 60. Therefore, now think about cost value equal in this example. Cost value in this example. In this example, this value equal this one. Think 60. When cost value 60, selling price equal 100. When cost value 60, profit equal 40. Therefore, cost of sales, that is value should be considered as a cost. They ask gross profit. Then think how to calculate gross profit. As well as selling price also can be calculated. Calculate gross profit. Think 960,000, that is a cost of sales. It is equal in this equation 60. Cost take equal when 60 divided by 60 into 40. That is a gross profit. There's gross profit also. Divide by 60 into 40. Think now cost value in this example equal 60. Profit margin is given. If it has given profit markup, cost value equal 100. Therefore, 960 divided by 60 into 40. Therefore, profit equals 640,000. Profit equals 640,000. Profit equals 640,000. 960 divided by 60 into 40. Think selling price if they ask. Selling price if they ask. Selling price if they ask. 960,000 divided by 60 into 100. If they are selling price, think what is answer. 960 divided by 60 into 100. Therefore, selling price equal 1,600,000. But in this example, they ask prime cost equal 688,000. Cost of production equal 943,000. Cost of sales equal 960,000. But gross profit equal 640. මෙතන ගාන පොඩක් හදාගන්න මෙතන වැරද්දක් තියෙනවා. Gross profit value should be equal 640. First එක answer එක හදාගන්න 640. Therefore, answer is the first one. Gross profit should be equal 640. But if it has given markup තුන නම් answer එකනේ යටින් එක. If it has given profit markup, answer should be equal last one. Now markup දුන්නා නම් if it has given profit markup, gross profit equal එකත් හදන්න බලන්න. If it has given profit markup, gross profit equal. If it is markup, if it is markup, if it is markup, in this situation, gross profit equal. In this situation, gross profit equal. Cost value equal 960,000. 960,000 divided by 100 into profit equal 40. If it has given markup, this is answer. But in this example, it has given margin. Therefore, 960,000 divided by 100 into 40. In this situation, profit equal 384,000. If it has given markup, answer last one. If it has given markup, answer last one. Therefore, in this example, answer first one. Reason here it has given profit margin. If it has given margin, selling price 100. Last එක answer එක වෙන්නේ මෙතන markup කියලා දුන්නා. Therefore, here it has given margin. First එකේ answer එක හදාගන්න මෙතන. Gross profit should be equal 608,000. As a gross profit cannot be considered 384,000. 384,000, it is correct if it has given profit markup. But here it is given margin. Therefore, answer should be first one. ඒක දීලා තියෙන gross profit එක වැරදි. It should be equal 640,000. Therefore, this is answer 640,000. And next one, question number 15. Question number 15, relevant for damage stock. It is also available markup and margin also. Think entire inventory of the company as at 31st March 20. As at 31st March 20 was destroyed due to flood. Due to flood damage stock and cost. It has given following information is provided for the year end 31st March 20 and given opening inventory, purchase return, sales and sales return, and given selling expenses also. It is the policy of the company, sales goods keep in profit margin 40% on selling price. Thus, what is the value of inventory destroyed as at 31st March 20? Prepare the income statement roughly. Prepare the income statement roughly. Sales minus sales return up to gross profit. Up to gross profit, prepare income statement roughly. Sales minus sales return. Think how to calculate gross profit. It has given sales return also. And correct sales value equal 75,000. Given sales return 5,000. Therefore, correct sales value equal 70,000. Think how to calculate correct sales value. Then deduct cost of sales also minus cost of sales. Minus cost of sales. Open stock it has given 19,000. Open stock 19,000 plus purchase. First one take inventory first April 2019. That is opening inventory. Inventory first April 2019. Opening inventory value equal 19,000 and purchase should be added. It has given purchase value equal 40,000 and minus purchase return. Purchase return should be deducted. Think we are going to calculate cost of sales. Purchase return should be deducted within brackets. Then there's damage stock. Entire inventory was destroyed. Therefore, closing stock 0. Damage stock also if available here minus. Damage stock. Damage stock also minus as well as closing stock. Closing inventory also minus. Think entire inventory was destroyed. Therefore, closing stock also 0. We are going to calculate damage stock value. It has not given. Now think how to calculate. Think profit markup and margin also. Selling price we know. Think selling expense also given. Selling expense should not be included gross profit calculation. Selling expense should be included distribution expense. Selling expense should be included distribution expense. Therefore, no need to consider selling expense. Now, given profit margin, write the general equation. General equation: cost plus profit equals selling price. Cost plus profit equal selling price. Cost plus profit equals selling price. And given profit margin on selling price. If it is margin, selling price 100. If it is margin, selling price 100. And given profit 40. Profit 40. In this situation, cost value equals 60. In this situation, cost value equals 60. If it is given markup, cost value 100. Now think selling price. We know selling price. As selling price, you have to consider 70,000 now. 70,000, not 75. After deducting sales return. This is where you should be considered as a sales. Cost of sales can be calculated. Try to calculate cost of sales. Cost of sales. We are going to calculate damage stock cost of sales. Therefore, selling price 70,000. It is equal 100. Therefore, divided by 100. But cost value equal 60. Into 60. This is the cost of sales. Then take the answers. Equal 42,000. Cost of sales equal 42,000. Therefore, that value should be included here. Under cost of sales calculation. Therefore, here value equal 42,000. Then difference value damage stock. Gross profit also can be calculated. This one minus this one, or by using equation. Now think damage stock equal how much? Take here total value. Opening stock plus purchase minus carriage inwards. Therefore, here total value equal 35,000. Take here total value 19,000 plus 40,000 minus 4,000 equal 55,000. Then it has not given closing stock. Difference value damage stock. Think minus damage stock equal cost of sales. Therefore, this one minus this one, difference value equal 13,000. That is damage stock. Think how to calculate damage stock value. Therefore, damage stock equal 13,000. This is income statement up to gross profit. Income statement up to gross profit. Think sales minus. As a sales, you have to consider after deducting sales return. After deducting sales return, correct sales value should be considered as sales. Think how to calculate cost of sales. Closing stock 0. Reason entire inventory was destroyed. Entire inventory was destroyed. Therefore, this is a goods available for sales, but closing stock 0. Damage stock value is not given, but cost of sales can be calculated. Difference value gross profit equal 28,000. This one minus this one, or by using this equation also gross profit can be calculated. Think gross profit by using equation. Gross profit can be calculated by using equation also. Therefore, think about cost of sales equal selling price. It has given 70,000. That value divided by 100 into 40 also can be calculated gross profit. Same answer. Think gross profit equal to 28,000. Sales minus cost of sales also can be calculated. There's damage stock value. Therefore, damage stock equal answer 4. Damage stock equal answer 4. Sometimes there's damage stock expense. Then damage you not expense never. This is the cost value of damage stock. Damage stock account credit. Damage stock account debit. Purchase account credit. If there's damage stock expense, it is depend on insurance receivable. On an insurance receivable, nathang make thamai damage stock expense. If it has given insurance receivable, balance part, ituru tika thamai damage stock expense එක වෙන්නේ. That is where you should be include income statement under the expense. But if it has not given insurance receivable, you can insure කරලා නැත්නම් මේ සම්පූර්ණ ගාන expense එකක් වෙනවා. අපි insure කරලා තිබුණොත් එහෙම අර claim කරන්නේ නැති ගාන විතරයි expense එකක් වෙන්නේ. Therefore, question number 15 answer, fourth one. Like next one, think next paper. I have given there are 2 MCQ papers. Think second part. First one, ඔන්න පළවෙනි part එක වැදගත්. මට දැන් කියලා දෙන්න ඕනේ SLFRS 15 වල theory part එක. ඔන්න මේ ගණන් ටික තේරුණොත් theory part, all the theory part available here. කටපාඩම් කරගන්න. Think first one, what is the correct sequence of following steps that taken place in the recognition revenue based on SLFRS 15 5-step model? First one, identify the contract with customers. First one, identify the contract with customers. Second one, identify the performance obligation. Second one, identify the performance obligation. Third one, determine the transaction price. Fourth one, allocate the transaction price. Last one, recognize revenue when performance obligation is satisfied. Think steps. Identify the contract with customers. 5-step model to recognize revenue, contract with customers. එතකොට මේ stand එක, it is not relevant for all the income. Only revenue from contract with customers. Disposal profit වගේ other income වලට මේක අදාළ වෙන්නේ නැහැ. Like therefore, first one, identify the contract with customers, step number 1. First one, identify the performance obligation. Third one, determine the transaction price. Fourth one, allocate the transaction price. And last one, recognize when revenue, when performance obligation are satisfied. Therefore, E, D, C, B, A. Answer is the third one. Question number 1, answer third one. Think 5-step model. Second part, ඔන්න මේ ටික පාඩම් කරගන්න ඕන. This is SLFRS 15. ඔන්න theory parts. නිතර නිතර බලන්න මේවා. Think second part. Second one, think what would be the answer? State whether the following statement relevant for business are true or false based on SLFRS 15. මේ stand එකේ තියෙන original part එක මේ තියෙන්නේ. First one, contract is an agreement between 2 or more parties that create enforceable rights and obligation. This is the definition of contract. Contract is an agreement between 2 or more parties that create enforceable right and obligation. This is the definition, true. Therefore, answer is true. Answer is true. There's true and false. Second one, performance obligation are promised in a contract to transfer to customers goods or service. Performance obligation කියන්නේ පොරොන්දු වෙච්ච දේවල්. Therefore, this is the definition. Performance obligation are the promise in contract to transfer to customer goods or service. Therefore, part B also True. Next one, the transaction price is the amount of consideration to which company expected to be entitled in exchange for transferring promised goods or service to the customer. ඒ කියන්නේ අපි පොරොන්දු වෙච්ච දේවල් ඉටු කරන්න අය කරන ගාණ transaction price. There are sometimes MCQ paper you have to write. Therefore, this one keep it in mind. The transaction price is the amount of consideration to which a company expected to be entitled in exchange for transferring promised goods or service to the customer. Also true. නිතර නිතර බලන්න මේවා important. And company would typically allocated transaction price to each performance obligation on the basis of standalone selling price. ඔන්න මේක මේ පාර ගණන් හදන කියනවා. I have discussed some example. Today also I will discuss some example relevant for revenue from contract with customers. Think, allocate the transaction price. Transaction price should be allocated among the performance obligation based on standalone selling price. Standalone selling price. ඔන්න මේ පාර එනවා. ගිය පාර තාම ඇහුවේ නැහැ මේක. අලුත් ස්ටෑන්ඩඩ් ගන්නනේ. මේ පාර you have to calculate standalone selling price also. I have discussed, there are more example. Right, next one, company will recognize revenue when it satisfies performance obligation by transferring promised goods or service to the customer. Think about revenue should be recognized after complete performance obligation. When performance obligation is satisfied, revenue can be recognized. Therefore, all A, B, C, D, E true. මේක මම දාන්න හේතු අරමුණ ඕගොල්ලෝ මේක අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම කටපාඩම් කරගන්න ඕන. Those are the definition relevant for SLFRS 15. Think 5-step model. Question number third one. Also very important. ඔන්න මේකත් දෙන්න පුළුවන් මේ පාර paper එකේ. The following information relevant for identify the contract with customer based on SLFRS 15. මේකත් ස්ටෑන්ඩ් එකේ පැහැදිලිව තියෙන පාර්ට් එක. Identify the contract with customer based on SLFRS 15. Collection of consideration is probable. Rights to goods or service and payment term can be identified. There should be commercial substance and parties are approved and committed to their obligation. Those are the thing included in the contract. ඔන්න මේව තමයි contract එකක් ඇතුළේ තියෙන්න ඕන දේවල්. Yes, what is the correct answer that a contract exists? ඔන්න contract එකක් තුළ තියෙන්න ඕන මොනවද කියලා අහුවොත්. Collection of consideration probable. Right to goods or service and payment term can be identified. There should be commercial substance and parties are approved and committed to their obligation. කටපාඩම් කරගන්න. Therefore, question number 3, also all A, B, C, D. Those are things should be included in the contract. Contract exists. Next one, fourth one. Fourth one, this is the last year paper. That part I have discussed before that also. Question number fourth one, think about. State whether the following statement true or false. Based on SLFRS 15, revenue from contract with customers. ඔන්න ගිය පාර paper එකේ අහව මේක. A contract with customer could include several performance obligation. Performance obligation ගොඩක් තියෙන පුළුවන්. Correct. Revenue and all other income of the business entity should be recognized in the financial statement only as per these standards. Only as per this standard, we are going to discuss only revenue from contract with customers, not other income. All other income is not relevant for this standards. Revenue from contract with customers. Example, think about disposal profit. Also income it is not relevant. This is standards. The first one, revenue and all other income of the business entity should be recognized in the financial statement only as per this standards. False. Only we are going to consider revenue from contract with customers. Other income we are not going to discuss in this standards. Next one, an entity should recognize revenue on a contract only when each performance obligation of the contract is satisfied. When performance obligation is satisfied, revenue can be recognized. True. Next one, the transaction price is the amount of consideration to which an entity expected to be entitled in exchange for transferring promised goods or service to a customer. That is the definition of transaction price. True. This is the thing last year they asked. Last year aerial paper they asked this part. Now think question number 5 and 6. කොන මේත් එකම මේ ගණන් දෙකක් තේරුම් ගන්න හොඳට. එතකොට SLFRS 15 clear වෙනවා. Revenue from contract with customers. This is a new standards. Specifically try to recognize revenue from contract with customers. Right. Question number 5. Think what standalone selling price also. I have discussed like this example. තාම තේරුම් නැත්නම් අල්ලගන්න try කරන්න. Question number 5, think about. The company has entered into contract with customers on 1st October 2020. Date very important. To sales goods and provide maintenance service. First one, to sales goods. Try to recognize performance obligation and provide maintenance service. There are 2 performance obligation available. විකුණනවා ඊට පස්සේ maintenance service එක දෙනවා. කොහොම අපි agree වෙලා තියෙන දේවල් පොරොන්දු. Performance obligation. During first 6 months after sales. During first 6 months after sales. It has given total consideration of contract 68,000. This is a transaction price. Think determine the transaction price. This is the transaction price given. And of which 54,000 relevant for sales of goods. There are 2 performance obligation. 4,000 relevant for sales of goods. It means balance part. It means balance part, and balance provide maintenance service. Think balance part equal how much? Transaction price equal 68,000. Transaction price equal 68,000. It is included. Think about 54,000. That is a sales value. Take values in thousand. Therefore, 68,000 minus 54,000. Therefore, 14,000 11 for provide maintenance service. For provide maintenance service, balance equal 14,000. Think values in thousand. Write rupee value. It has given rupee value. Therefore, write rupee value also. Therefore, this is the amount relevant for provide maintenance service. Given company sold all goods agreed in contract on 1st January 2021. On a sales date it has given. Think about sales date 1st January 2021. Therefore, during the accounting period, our accounting period end of the year 31st March 21. Therefore, it has available during the accounting period. Think about maintenance service provided during the accounting period only 3 months. January, February, March. But විකුණලා ඉවරයි. Think revenue should be recognized when performance obligation is satisfied. Sales date 1st January 2021. As sales, 54,000 can be considered as income. But think about service income. Maintenance service provide income. As maintenance service provide income from 14,000. Think maintenance service provided only 6 month period. Therefore, into 6 over 12. Maintenance service provided only 6 month period. Therefore, as a maintenance service provided income, you have to consider 7 million. 7 million should be considered as a maintenance service provided income. Maintenance service එක මාස 6ක් දීලා නැහැ. මාස 6ටම තමයි පොරොන්දු වෙලා තියෙන්නේ මෙච්චර. තාම මාස 3යි ඉවර. Therefore, as a maintenance service income, you have to consider only 6/12. බලන්න 14,000 ගන්න බෑ. Performance obligation not satisfied. පොරොන්දු වෙච්ච දේවල් ඉවර වෙලා නැහැ. ඉටු කරලා නැහැ තාම. මාස 6ම සර්විස් එක දීලා නැහැ. Therefore, as a maintenance service income, you have to consider only 7,000. But sales of goods was completed. 54,000 can be considered as sales, but maintenance service provided income 7 million. Therefore, answer is fourth one. On a samane gana, it has not given standalone selling price. At the same time, think about question number 6 also. I have discussed last week also. On a taama තේරුනේ නැත්තම් මේ පාර එනවා අනිවාර්යෙන් වගේ estimates. අපිට හිතෙනවා මේ යන විදිහට මේ සැරේ මේක එනවා. And it is given ABC Limited enter into agreement with customers 1st January 2020 for 65,000. Think about 65,000 transaction price to sales. First one, think performance obligation to sales. First one, sales and installation of machine. That is a first performance obligation. විකුණලා high කරලා දෙනවා machine එක and provide maintenance service for 1 year monthly basis. This is second performance obligation. Think there are more performance obligation available in the contract. Sales and installation of machine and provide maintenance service for 1 year. For that, they charge 65 million. And given machine was delivered to the customer on 1st April 2020. Deliver කරාට income විතර ගන්න බෑ. high කරනකම් machine එක use කරන්න බැරි නිසා. machine එක use කරන්න පුළුවන් තැනට ආපු වෙලාවේ තමයි ඊට අදාළ ගාන income එකක් විතර ගන්න. Therefore, installation of machine was completed 1st July 2020. This is the date you have to consider as income sales. Installation was completed. Installation was completed. අන්න එදා තමයි අපි sales income එක ගන්න. And it is given started to provide service 30th September 2020. On a service එක agreed to provide service 1 year period. Agreed to provide maintenance service for 1 year, but it started, it has given 30th September 2020. It started to provide maintenance service 30th September 2020. Our economic period end of the year 31st March 21. Think agreed to provide maintenance service 1 year, but during the economic period, maintenance service provided only 6 months. Maintenance service provided only 6 months. Therefore, maintenance service income total value cannot be considered as income. Maintenance service provided during the contract period only 6 months, but agreed to provide maintenance service 1 year. And given standalone selling price also. It has given standalone selling price also. And given normal price of sales and installation of machine 60 million. This is called standalone selling price. And normal maintenance service provide income for 1 year period equal 18 million. Try to recognize standalone selling price. සාපේක්ෂ තනි විකුණු වටිනාකම. ඔන්න වෙන වෙනම සර්විස් එක දුන්නා නම් අපි විකුණන එක විතරක් කරනවා නම් they charge 60 million and provide maintenance service also. Maintenance service provide income. Or maintenance service එක විතරක් දෙනවා නම් they charge 18 million. Right now, there's what is the correct answer to recognize revenue as well as maintenance service provide income. Right? Think about standalone selling price also given. Right? Prepare working like that. You have to calculate standalone selling price. Standalone selling price also should be calculated. That prepare working like this. This part very, very important. On මේ පාර එන්න පුළුවන් මේ part එක. Try to recognize standalone selling price. And there are two performance obligation. And given standalone selling price, first one sales and installation of machine, value equal 60,000. Here value equal 60 million, record values in thousand. And for provide maintenance service, standalone selling price equal 18 million. On අපි machine එක විකුණන එක විතරක් කරනවා නම් 60,000 they charge. Maintenance service විතරක් දෙනවා නම් 18,000 charge for that. Therefore, this is the standalone selling price. Here total value equals 78 million. But think transaction price it has given 65 million. Allocate the transaction price among the performance obligation by using standalone selling price. එහෙනම් 65,000 වෙනකොට කීයද කියලා බලන්න ඕනේ. ඒ කියන්නේ මේ දෙකම අපි එකට කරනවා නම් මේගොල්ලෝ අපි discount එකක් දෙනවා. Therefore, this is a transaction price. මෙහෙම අපි charge කරාට වෙන වෙනම කරනකොට දෙකම කරනකොට charge කරන්නේ 65,000. Think when transaction price 65,000, recognize relevant part sales and installation of machine. 65,000 divided by 78,000 into 60. ඔන්න හොයන තාල බලන්න. Allocate the transaction price. 65,000 divided by 78,000. මෙන්න මේක මේකෙන් divide කරලා into 60. Into 60,000. Therefore, this is the allocation part. Allocate the transaction price. 65,000 divided by 78 into 60. Therefore, here transaction price is equal to 50,000. Allocate the transaction price among the performance obligation and provide maintenance service. Think about 65,000 divided by 78,000. 65,000 divided by 78,000. On මේ part එක මේ පාර එන්න තිනේකට වැඩි into 18,000. Allocate the transaction price among the performance obligation based on standalone selling price. Therefore, here value equal 15,000. Then total transaction price equal 65,000. 50,000 relevant for sales and installation of machine and provide maintenance service 15,000. The first one thing sales and installation machine was completed. When performance obligation is satisfied, revenue can be recognized. In a machine එක විකුණලා high කරලා ඉවරයි. It has given date 1st July 2020. 1st July 2020 වෙනකොට විකුණලා high කරලා ඉවරයි. Therefore, 50,000 can be considered as income. Sales and installation machine 50,000 relevant. But think about maintenance service started to provide 30th September 2020. Agreed to provide maintenance service 1 year. For 1 year, as income we have to consider 15,000. But during the current period, maintenance service provided only 6 months. Therefore, as a maintenance service provide income, you have to consider only 6 over 2. Maintenance service provide income, total value cannot be considered. Reason, maintenance service provided during the current period only 6 month period. Agreed to provide 1 year, therefore for 6 month period, as income you have to consider. As income you have to consider only 7,500. This is the value should be considered as a maintenance service provide income. Maintenance service provide income only 6 month period. Agreed to provide 1 year, think performance obligation is not satisfied. Satisfy වෙලා තියෙන්නේ මාස 6කට විතරයි. Monthly basis. Therefore, maintenance service provide income as income you have to consider only 7,500. Therefore, sales and installation 50,000 and maintenance service provide income equal 7,500. Right, after break I will discuss not for profit making organization, very important example. And balance part of CVP analysis also given. On CVP analysis තාම තේරලා නැත්නම් ඒවා ලේසියෙන් ලකුණු ගන්න පුළුවන් පාඩම් ඒවා අල්ලගෙන ඉන්න. And balance part of MCQ also I will discuss after break. Class will be started again 11 o'clock. 11ට ඉන්න.